Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you another video. Today we're going to be doing another tier list video, and this one was suggested by Helio Valente. I've got to get that name out of the way real quick. So of course, in the past we did a what season was every character's best, and now we got to do what season was every character's worst. Now I've got a few tiers. I think we're probably gonna, we got the seasons 1 to 11 tiers, obviously, and then we've also got right at the top, good in every season, and also they were never good. We've also got a brand new tier today, which is, of course, it's called the Ultimate TWD All Seasons 1 to 11 Tier List Maker. So, yeah, we're using a new one, so I'll leave the link in the description. There's a few more characters in here, so I thought we'd go for this one. I found it. And what else? Yeah, also, I would like to try and hit 5,000 subs by the end of the year. So if you're not subscribed and you watch my videos and you like my videos, then hit the subscribe to help me out, as all YouTubers say, most of you people don't watch my videos, so please hit subscribe. But no, it'd be cool. It'd make my year. Anyway, let's get into it. So this is what season was every character's worst, and I'll be brutally honest with you. I started recording this video and I started talking about every character's best season. I was like, wait, that's not this video. What am I doing? So yeah. Anyway, Otis, starting off. Okay, well, I mean, I guess his worst season is Season 2, even though he's only in Season 2. I don't know. Or good in every season. I guess Otis is technically good in every season he's in. I don't know if I like this tier. Should we get rid of that? Yeah, let's get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that one. We'll keep the they were never good. Wait. That doesn't apply either, because we're talking about the bad seasons. So I think we're actually going to delete this, right? We're doing edits real quick. So yeah, we'll get rid of them. Yeah, Otis's worst season is obviously Season 2 because he's only in Season 2. So yeah. Laurie. I think Laurie's worst season is actually Season 1. I like her for the most part in Season 2. And I think unironically her best season's probably Season 3, but Season 2's close. I think Season 1's probably her worst because I feel like she's like the most inconsistent then. And, like, she doesn't really do much in Season 1, to be honest. Like, she's there, she's in the camp, she's washing, she's, typical housewife. She's banging Shane for the first bit, but then she instantly breaks up with Shane, which, I like as, like, a character move. I like how she is, like, loyal to Rick. Like, as soon as Rick's alive, she's like, boop, bye, Shane. Yeah, but she just doesn't really do all that much in Season 1. I was, like, pleased with Jenna, I guess. But, yeah. She's not very active. She just kind of like supports Rick, I guess, and supports the group in some way. Whereas in Season 2 and 3, she actually has like an active role. So I feel like her worst season is Season 1. Sasha. So I think by proxy, I have to go Season 3. Like Season 4 is a really good season for Sasha, although she's sick for the first half. She, of course, like really steps out of her shell in the second half and like the bonding with Bob and Maggie. Season 5, of course, is like the torture season for Sasha, where she loses both Bob and Tyrese, and then she kind of goes a bit crazy. And she has probably the most profound arc in Season 5. Season 6 is her bonding with Abraham and all that, and again, getting closer to Maggie, becoming a more integrated person of the group, part of the group, the satellite outpost attack, all that. Season 7, of course, is her last season. Probably one of her best seasons, if not her best season. I forgot what I said last time, but yeah, I think Season 3 is probably the worst because Sasha's only in the second half of the season. She is pretty much just a side character. Tyrese obviously takes the sort of center stage in most of the scenes she's in. The focus is on him and not her. So she's very much like a side character in that season. So yeah, but she is pretty she is consistent though, like throughout, and her sort of personality in Season 3 carries over. So it's not like bad, but yeah, I probably would say Season 3. Deanna. I probably would go Season 5. Honestly, it's like such a toss-up. Like, I feel like she's pretty good in both seasons that she's in. She's in Season 5 and 6. I'm probably going to go Season 5. I don't know what I said last time, so if I contradict myself, it's just based on the feels, really. I've got no, hardcore, spreadsheet where I, record this. So if I do have any, inconsistencies with the last video, and some dude is pointing out in the comments, just ignore him, because I don't remember every single ranking I give to every single character, okay? But I'm probably going to go Season 5 today. I feel like Season 6, she's just so broken after Season 5. She becomes sort of Rick's whipping tongue. She does everything. Although she has that cool speech to Rick, they're all your people. Honestly, it's such a toss-up, so it doesn't really matter. I think she's probably as good in both seasons. But let's go with Season 5 for now. Gavin. So he's only in season 7 and season 8. I'd probably say season 8 just because I feel like they don't really do much with Gavin in season 8, really. Like, there's like potential there, but he's just like lieutenant dude in the meeting, and then he eventually gets free, and of course he dies in the mid-season finale. So, or the mid-season premiere. Is it the premiere? Yeah, the premiere. So, yeah, they sort of didn't really do much with the character, even though he was sort of presented as this like savior who didn't really want to be there kind of thing, or didn't really love his job. Where I think he was a lot more interesting in season 7, like of the intrigue and stuff. And I guess, yeah, I don't know. I'll go with season 8. Again, it's a bit of a toss-up, really. Sam. So he's only in 2 seasons. I think it's probably worse is probably season 5, because season 6 is where like the torture and stuff that the torment Carol puts him through actually has consequences. And I think I do like the fact that, like, you know, the scenes where like Rick and Co like breaking into the house and he's just seeing all the blood and everything, and all the dead, and he's like freaking out. I like all that stuff in season 6. So I'd probably go season 5 because he doesn't really do all that much. He just goes around asking for cookies. Carol, can I have some cookies? Please, can I have some cookies? You're gonna make some more cookies. So I'll probably go with season 5, yeah, for the worst. Martinez. I don't know. This one again is like maybe season 4. I don't know. They didn't really do that. He's only in like 2 episodes, so basically 1 episode, because he's only at the end, the start of the one Governor episode and the end of it, and then he's in like the first half of the second Governor episode. So yeah, he's not in it that much, but probably season 4 just for that, because he's not in it that much, and get killed off. And they never, like, Martinez in the comics and novels is a lot more complex. Like, he's not just a governor loyalist. He's like, he actually isn't that much of a loyalist at first. Like, he tries to do a coup on the governor, or he participates in a coup on the governor, and then of course he sort of falls into line, and he goes with Rick, like, he breaks Rick out, but it's all a ploy, obviously, to find out the location of the prison, and then Rick kind of kills him. So he's a bit more layered, I think, in the comics and the novels, and it would have been cool for them to do something like that with him in season 4, but they didn't, so I don't know, maybe I'm just doing it for that. Denise is only in season 6, so I guess by that logic she has to go in season 6, but I don't hate her at all, but yeah, she's only in 1 season, so I have to put her there, I guess. Same with Otis. Morales, so yeah, it's definitely his worst season is season 8, because they bring him back as a meme and then they kill him off straight away with like absolutely no, there was so much potential for that, right? Like a little rivalry between him and Rick, or maybe you give like Rick obviously is versus Negan, maybe Daryl versus Morales, giving like a little side character for Daryl to go at. But I guess Dwight was that for Daryl, so yeah, they brought Morales back for a fucking meme, basically. They brought him back for a meme, and then they killed him off, so it was pointless. Jessie. So Jessie's only in 5 and 6. Definitely her worst is 5, because she's just a woman who's getting beaten up, really. She really steps in her own into season 6, so I'm going to have to go for season 5, really. There's not really much debate there, but that's more because this was kind of set up for her character. So, yeah. Dr. Carson. I really like him in 8. I think he's fun in 8. He's in... Is he? Yeah, he's in 7 and he's in 6, isn't he? I'd probably go with 6, because he doesn't really do that much. Although, he gets kidnapped in 7, right, by Simon. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd probably say 6. At least he doesn't really do much in either 6 or 7, though. In 8, though, I think he's really interesting. I like him in 8, so it's a toss-up between 6 and 7. We'll go with 7. Or we'll go with 6. Or we'll go with 6, yeah. Fat Joseph. So he's only in season 8, so he goes... No, he's in season 7, sorry. He's only in season 7. Oh, I'm slipping up here. He's only in season 7, so we'll go with season 7. Lily. Only in season 4, so we have to go season 4. But I do like Lily overall. She's not Lily from the comics/novels, though. She's I've been rereading the novels lately, so she is like very much like April, but then she's not really like April either, because April's like nothing like her. So I don't know. She's kind of like a matchup of a bunch of characters. The Governor. This one's kind of tricky because I think his worst season is like, I think both season 3 and 4 are like really good seasons for the Governor. Obviously season 3 is like the build up for him, so I just don't like, he has like an actual proper full on arc in both seasons, so it's very tricky. It's really down to like which arc, or maybe I could like trick and say season 5. Yeah, because he shows up as a hallucination. No, we won't count hallucinations. We'll only count like them actually in the season. But yeah, if I'm not counting hallucinations, it's real tricky. Maybe I'll say 4, just because there's less of him. I like him in season 3 though. I think he's like really well done. He starts off as the Jim Jones, the charismatic leader. Mid-season finale, Penny is killed obviously by Michonne. He loses his eye. He sort of starts to slip a little bit. And his people kind of see it, and Andrea kind of sees it, but they still sort of believe in him. And the only thing he has is Woodbury and his people. And then he goes to the prison, and he flips out when his people don't do as they're told, and kills them all. And I think that's a good way to end his character in season 3. And then we bring him back, and we kind of give his backstory almost in reverse. We give like the Governor's backstory, because they basically adapted the Governor's backstory from the novels in the first Governor episode. But they kind of doing it in reverse. But I really like how they did it. And I think really humanizing the Governor for a bit and like showing the good side of him was really cool to do. Maybe they could have done it in 1 episode, not 2. I kind of get that argument. But yeah, I personally just really love the Governor in both seasons. It's really tricky. I'm going to go season 4 just because, I don't know, they could have combined those 2 episodes. It's as simple as that, really. So, whatever. Carl's worst season is 8, easily. Not only because he dies, but because they butcher his character. They 180 his character. So, season 7, he's like, yeah, Dad, let's kill the saviors, right? Boom, boom, bang, bang, shooting them all. And then suddenly, like, he has a nap, right? Because not much time passes between season 7 and 8. Like, a couple days passes, I think. So, he has a nap, and he's like, no, Dad, we need to pick strawberries and live side by side with the saviors. You got to find another way. And it's like, wait, what? What happened to Carl? So, yeah, Carl's worst season, easily season 8. I think it's like they kind of ruined the character for me. And that's why I kind of hate on Carl so much. And people are always like, why did you hate Carl? Carl was great in season 4 and he was great in season 6 and he was great in season 7. It's like, yeah, but he wasn't great in season 8. And that's my problem. He was okay in season 7 as well, although some of it was a bit cringe. And the acting was probably its worst in season 7. Maybe that was the director, though, not the actor. Season 6, he's pretty good. I like him. Yeah, I mean, I like Carl in most seasons. But season 8 is definitely his worst. And people like to say, well, he was stepping up. He was becoming into his own. In that 1 episode, sure, where he was, like, telling people how to do... But it just felt forced. It's like, okay, so we're all going to go into the sewers, and we're going to... It just kind of felt like, and kill me, Negan, kill me. Like, to me, it felt really forced. I didn't like it. I understand why people do, but, like, you're giving him, like... It's just so cheap to give him, like, the last show, the final show kind of thing, or give him, like, a cool moment at the end when you're going to kill him off in such a stupid, ridiculous way. It doesn't count. It's like giving, like... It's like if they wanted to kill Rick, but they, like, give him some badass, like... cool, I don't know, corridor fight where he takes out like 10 guys and then he dies from a fucking walker bike. Like, you could say like, oh, that was the coolest like Rick fight scene, but like they still killed off Rick, and they dangled some cheap bullshit, some cheap like fan service thing at the end to make it okay. And that was like the whole Carl stepping up and becoming Alexander. That's what it feels to me. It feels like cheap because they're gonna kill him off, so it's like, oh, we're gonna give him one final show. And it just, to me, it just doesn't hit the same way. So, yeah, I hate Carl's death. I hate what they do to Carl in season 8. And it's not just his death. Don't get me wrong. It's not just the death. It's also the fact that they 180 the character just to force him to do the whole let's stay with Negan thing. Yeah. So, yeah. What's this called? Pete Dugan, whatever. He's only in season 4, so I guess he has to go in season 4. But he was okay. Olivia. I guess her worst is season 5. I mean, she doesn't really do much in season 5. She's just kind of there. She takes the guns from the group, and that's about it, I think. And she's in the pantry some more. And yeah, I mean, they kind of make her into a character in season 7. and she's somewhat there in season 6. I like it when she like runs out to help the group in season 6. It's like a small character moment for her. So I guess we'll go with season 5 because she doesn't really do much. Big Tiny. He's going to go in season 3. He's only in season 3. Dwight. I suppose we actually have to have another tier actually, and that's spin-off. So I won't go into detail because I know that a lot of people haven't seen these spin-offs, but slight spoiler: Dwight is in Fear the Walking Dead. Dwight is at his worst in that spin-off show. Okay, this Fear is where like Walking Dead characters go to die. Okay, and not actually like die as in they get killed off, as in like they just turn the character into a blank slate. Happened with Morgan. So Morgan goes here as well. So like every season, like Morgan is at his worst in Fear. They bring Morgan in, and it's like, okay, this is why I feel like Morgan probably should have died in season 8. There was not much more you could do with the character, or if you did want to do more with the character, you have to take it into a brand new direction. So the problem with Dwight, this is a problem for both characters actually. So the problem is they take Morgan into Fear, and at first he's like, he doesn't kill or whatever, or at least he tries his best to avoid it. I was like, okay, so he's regressed back to that after he was like going clear mode in season 8. Okay, cool. And then they turn him into clear mode again, and then back to peace, and then to clear, and then to peace, and to clear. And they just keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it's getting tiring. Like, do something new with the character. So that's why Morgan is the worst in Fear. And then Dwight goes to Fear the Walking Dead, and he just becomes like, it's just not Dwight. It's just like someone else. It's Doug. It's not Dwight, it's Doug, okay? So Doug goes to Fear, and he looks like Dwight, but he's a different character. He doesn't feel like the same person at all. Like, he's not as ruthless as Dwight. He's not even, like, as optimistic and, like, pre-Dwight getting his face burned. He's not even that guy. He's literally, like, a new person who has no personality. Apart from his burnt face, he may as well be called Steve and just be a generic white guy, okay? Like, he may as well with a fucking cap, like every other, like, Fear the Walking Dead side character. He is, like, post-season 4, I should say, because they had some cool characters pre-season 4. But yeah, Dwight shows up in the worst probably the worst season of Fear. Yeah, probably. I haven't rewatched season 5 yet, but it probably is the worst. And then he kind of just dicks around for the rest of the show. So, yeah, fuck what they did to Dwight. Awful. Georgie. I never liked Georgie. I think I found her stupid, but yeah, her worst season is season 8. Tobin's worst season. Again, he first shows up in season 5, he's in 6, season 7, and he's in 8. I don't know, I guess his worst season is 7? I don't know, it's 6? He didn't really do much in either. I guess 6? Because I feel like 5, he does do some stuff, because he's at the construction site, right? And he has that moment where he doesn't believe in Abraham, and then kind of, he's like, oh, Gianna, I reckon you should put Abraham in charge of the construction. So he kind of does do something. I mean, he doesn't really do that much in 6. Oh no, he has the relationship with Carol in 6 though, doesn't he? Yeah, we'll go with 7. I feel like we'll go with 7. He doesn't do anything in 7, apart from fighting the battle at the end. So yeah. Jed. Jed is only in 9, so he goes 9, I guess. Alpha. Alpha is her worst at season 10. She's great in season 9. Really great build up, like, to her character, like her coming to the hilltop, and then her creeping around in the Kingdom Fair, and like her final threats and stuff. And then she sticks way too long around in season 10. Like, The Walking Dead needs to like the Governor was like a season and a half, but not even, because he was only in like 3 episodes in season 4. The Governor was a season and a bit. Alpha probably should have been the same, like a season and a bit. And, sorry, no, less than that. Probably only a season for Alpha, because obviously, ultimately, from the source material, she isn't the final big bad. It's obviously Beta is the big bad of the group, right? So you want to kill her off, probably the mid-season finale. That should be a big moment, like, there. But they don't. They kind of have the whole cave thing, and I don't care about that. That was so stupid. They get trapped in a cave. Really dumb. And they just, like, Alpha just overstays her welcome, I think. She probably should have been in, like, 2 or 3 less episodes for me. But, yeah, it's not a big thing. But her worst is definitely season 10. I love the build-up with her in season 9, so I can't choose that. Sadiq. So he shows up in season 8. He's in season 9. He dies in season 10. I like the stuff they were doing with him in season 10, so I can't say that. I mean, 8, he doesn't do a whole lot, so maybe it is just 8. Because he's actually kind of annoying in season 8. I can't lie. When he's like to Rick, like, he keeps like bugging Rick when he's like mourning his son. I'm like, Siddiq, man, wrong time, wrong place. You're not the person you want to see. He wants to see. So yeah, I probably would say season 8. And he's got this whole, I kill the dead to honor my mom, and then he just drops that. I know they do a time skip, but like we just never see that again. Like that's that whole thing that Siddiq believed in. It was a plot device to get Carl bitten. So yeah, Siddiq is the worst in season 8. Alden, probably the worst in season 10. He's just so whiny and bitchy in season 10, where he's like, oh, bloody blah, I hate the Whisperers. Oh, Gamma, she can't see her son. Bloody bloody blah, and then he like forgives her at the end. I guess I just didn't like Alden that much in season 10. He's fine in season 8 and 9, and he's okay in season 11 as well. But yeah, season 10 he's annoying. Jim, well, I guess he has to have worse season as season 1 because he's only in season 1. But I like Jim. Carol, Carol is easily season 10. She is insufferable in season 10. She is doing things that I would argue are just out of character. It's not even like the character is being annoying. She's just doing things that are out of character. Like, so she releases Negan off screen to go and kill Alpha, right? So there you go. Carol's done her revenge. That's her little revenge plot thing done, right? Which is a little bit out of character, right? But whatever. I mean, she wants revenge, so I can believe it. But not only that, she's also running around the woods like a dickhead, trying to get Alpha when she sees like, oh, I'm gonna get you, Alpha, and then gets people in the cave, gets people like almost killed. Obviously, she released Negan, which does the attack on Hilltop. Like, they just add like such dumb things that she does. Like, and like she tries to take a shot at Alpha, obviously in the meeting, and she's popping pills. And then of course you have like the COVID episodes, which I'm counting. You have like Diverge with her little argument with Daryl, which I just don't care for. So she's catching a rat. So yeah, Carol is awful in season 10. She probably should have died in the finale. I think that would have made it a little bit better, like if she ultimately sacrificed herself. And I think like I'm okay with her like betraying the group in some way, like releasing Negan, and of course Negan does all that, it helps to burn down the Hilltop. Like I like the fact that people resent her for that. I wish they would stick with it coming into season 11, but whatever. For me it's like she's just so annoying in season 10. And I like Carol, okay? I know a lot of people don't like her, or they seem to not. I like her in season 4. I like her in season 6. I like her in season 5. I like Carol a lot, but I think Carol is a character who overstays her welcome. I think her death probably would have been best in season 10. I've talked about it before, but yeah. There's only so much you can do with any character, really. And I think I probably would have taken her out in season 10 just to make it somewhat like worth it, like all that annoying shit she did. But yeah, can't stand her in season 10, so she's going there. And season 11 is like a runners up, but yeah, we'll go season 10. Gabriel, this one's tricky. I don't know if I ever disliked Gabriel in a season, because even season 5 when it's like most annoying, I get it. It's not out of character. It's not like bad writing, right? He's like a little bit annoying, but it's kind of like a good annoying. Like I'm glad that I'm annoyed at him because that is like good writing, if that makes sense, right? So I unironically might say season 11, only because I think Gabriel's like a pretty consistent character. Like season 5, you of course have from Coward Priest to kind of like Coward Priest to let his flock die, to kind of admitting in the finale, obviously with Sasha, that like I let my people die. He admits that it was him, right? Where he's been putting all the blame, like, oh, Rick's group is the devil, God sent them to punish me, and now I've got to save Alexandria by warning you, Deanna. He kind of admits that all that guilt that he pushes onto other people is his own, right? He's just projecting, and that's kind of his arc in season 5. And then also like him seeing like the evil of the world, like when he sees like Gareth's Bob's leg, right, and he kind of realizes, okay, no, these cannibal fucks, they were probably worse than Rick's group. And then season 6, you of course have Gabriel's got a mini arc, I guess, where he kind of really steps up. At first, Rick's bullying the fuck out of him, but he like tries to step up and he keeps persisting. And of course, by the end, you have him fighting in Alexandria and doing the satellite outpost attack, and then of course by the end of the season, Rick goes from bullying Gabriel to being like, I'll leave you in charge of Alexandria, Gabriel, you know? So he has a pretty good arc in Season 6. Season 7, his arc is obviously... Yeah, actually, Season 7's not great for Gabriel, because it's... What is his arc? He has, like, he fights in the battle at the end, obviously, but... And then you have the stuff with him doing the fake grave with Maggie. What else does Gabriel do? Not tons. Oh, no, he has the whole, like, junkyard thing, because he gets kidnapped, doesn't he? And he holds Tamiel hostage, and, yeah, like, and vouches for Rick's group. Then the Oceanside, he goes on that thing to steal the guns from the Oceanside. So, no, I think, and, like, obviously, like, the little scouting missions with Spencer, and then, of course, the conversation with Rosita. So, no, he does a fair lot in Season 7. He is very much like a mediator, though. I guess he doesn't have, like, a big arc in Season 7. Season 8, of course, he's dicking around with Negan for a bit. I mean, he doesn't really do much in Season 8. Maybe I would actually say Season 8. Even though I have my issues with Season 11, and we'll get onto that. But then, I don't know, I kind of like him in Season 8. He doesn't do much. He's just fucking sick. He's just sick for, like, loads of episodes, and then... But ultimately, he does kind of give Eugene the idea for the bullets, right? So, Season 9, he's there, he gets kidnapped by Jadis for a bit again, and then he steps up, Whisper of War, all that. He's on the council. Season 10, of course, is where we get Darth Gabriel, where he's like going a bit evil, like stop taking teeth and pulling teeth and taking fingers and all that shit, and killing Dante, and yeah, and then of course it kind of ends with it ends in the finale where he almost dies, but then of course you have the maze where he kills Maze. That was pretty brutal. The reason why I was like leaning towards Season 11 though is because Gabriel he's like being set up for like a really interesting arc, because he's getting like more and more and more evil. Because we see it with the Reaper stuff, right? He kills the Reaper Preacher, even though the Reaper Preacher like surrendered and was like a man of God, like literally the same as Gabriel, and he just butchers him. And it's like, okay, cool. Where are we going with Gabriel? A really dark arc then? Is he going to be Dwight's comic death? And it's like, no. He's just got his faith now, and he's at the church in the Commonwealth, but he's helping Daryl and Aaron kill people, and it's like, oh, so we just decided not to do anything interesting with Gabriel. So, yeah. And of course there is the spin-off he's in, but like it's like a cameo, so I'm not going to count that. I don't know, I'm leaning towards either Season 8 or Season 11, because he just doesn't do much in Season 8. But in Season 11, I like the stuff with the Reapers. Like, I like his character arc anyway in the Reaper stuff. It's what comes after, and I feel like they kind of fumbled his arc. I'm going to go with Season 11. I think that's what my gut's saying is his worst season. Yumiko. So she's only in 9, 10, and 11. I think she is pretty interesting in 11. I don't dislike her. She's okay in 10. Maybe I go in 9. I mean, she's knocked out for the first bit because she hits her head. And she's in the infirmary, and then... But no, she's pretty interesting in 9 as well. Again, this is like a toss-up. Maybe it is 11, though, because like... all that courtroom stuff in the Commonwealth was cringe. It was like a writer's courtroom. I hated that so much. It was not a real courtroom at all. Maybe I will go with 11. I don't know. It's really tricky because she's like kind of consistently okay in all 3 seasons. So, we'll go with 11. We'll go with 11 just because I feel like they could have done like something more interesting with her. Really, but then I like her in season 11. We'll go with 9. We're sticking with 9. Let's move on. Herschel. Herschel is a gem in 2. He's a gem in 3, and he's a gem in 4. I refuse. I refuse to do it. No, if I'm gonna go with anything, probably season 2, because I think season 2 is probably the worst season for Herschel, just because he is kind of a one-note character. He's just stubborn farm guy, right? He's got his view on the walkers. He invites people, and and he doesn't move on that until, of course, they kill all the walkers, and he's like, well, fuck, these things were not alive, definitely not. And he does kind of change, and then I don't know, but he's really interesting in 2 as well. But then he's interesting in 3, and he's interesting in 4. I can't pick. It's hard to pick. I'm going with 2 just because I think I like him too much in 3 and 4. So, but he's not bad in 2 at all. It just comes down to, like, I think it's probably, if I had to rank them, I'd say he's his best probably at season 3. then season 4, then season 2. Actually, no, he's his best at season 4. Fuck that. What's the episode called? Isolation? Is it Isolation? Indifference? Isolation? Internment. Sorry, no, Internment. Internment is like a fucking... That's like Herschel's Magnus Opus. Magnus, yeah. That's Herschel's Magna Opus. Magnus Opus, okay? His Magnus Opus. Yeah, Herschel is the best in season 4. So I'm gonna have to go with season 2 because he's great in season 3 as well. Ricky Dicky Dudok Grimes. So this is probably going to be a bit boring, but I'd say Rick's at his worst in season 1 because season 2 he has like a clear fucking like a very clear arc. It's, you know, starts off. He's like trying his best to be the leader of the group. And of course, Shane like questions his leadership throughout, and other people do too. Even Laurie at some points, right? And he kind of at the end. Well, no, she stands by him, but like I think some of her choices kind of he questions, right? Don't make him question his own leadership. And then of course, at the end of the season, he kills Shane as like this very. So he starts as like shaky leader, right? But he's trying his best. And of course, they lose Sophia, and and he's making these hard calls, and Shane's testing him like, "You're not making the right calls. We should have gone to Fort Benning. Why do we go to the city? Like, why are we carrying? Or they carry on to Fort Benning, but obviously the CDC was a wash, and they want to stay on the farm, but like Shane's like, well, nope, girl's gone. Carl's getting better now, so we leave. Like, fuck this girl, and yeah, and of course Rick's like a shaky leader, and of course it ends with him killing Shane and then declaring this isn't a democracy anymore. So like season 2 is great. Season 3 is of course Rick is now cold ass Rick, and he's completely like shut off. He's broken. Even to his own wife, he treats his own wife like she's like just another member of the group. She treats Laurie like T-Dog. And of course Laurie dies, so Rick is really broken at this point, and he goes from cold to broken, and he's just completely losing it. He's broken, and then by the end of the season, instead of just like, because obviously you have that lovely moment, you have that moment where he leaves the hitchhiker, right? The hitchhiker's like, please, and he's like, nope, drive off, see you later, motherfucker. And of course, they eventually go to Woodbury. They find the governor killed, and he brings everyone back from Woodbury, right? So that completes Rick's arc, and he gets over Laurie as well because he looks up and he sees there is no Laurie ghost anymore, right? So not only do we resolve his loss arc, but we also resolve his being so cold and ruthless arc, right? Because he also, part of that is because he sees that Carl is now adopting that because he guns an innocent kid down in the woods, or perceivably an innocent kid down in the woods. So yeah, that's Rick's arc in season 3. And then season 4, Rick is the good guy. He's trying his best, but his hand is forced when the governor arrives, and then that's when he kind of begins to become too far gone in his own way, right? He kind of becomes too far gone, especially in the finale, and this is why I love the finale that's titled A, season 4's finale, is because it's finally the moment where Rick fully breaks, where Joe obviously comes and he just like rips his neck out with his teeth and fucking butchers Dan, the little rapist who went after Carl. Rick finally is in a sense too far gone, at least what Herschel was sort of saying, and that's why I really like how they kind of match it with those flashbacks to the prison with Herschel. And then season 5, of course, this is when Rick is in feral mode, and he's just absolutely brutal, and he's got the beard and the murder jacket, and of course, we have the great moment when he eventually arrives at Alexandria. Michonne's like, when you arrived at Terminus, when you arrived at Woodbury, what did you hear? Nothing, right? And then they get to Alexandria, and you hear laughter. And he's like, oh, wow, this is the perfect place. And of course, Rick is skeptical at first, but in the end, he's like, no, listen, I'm not crazy anymore. I'm going to show you guys how to survive. Here's a walker. Oh, hi, Pete. Can I kill him, Deanna? Cool. So, yeah. Even though it's a bit silly at the end, sure, maybe they don't hit the arc perfectly, I still really like Season 5's arc. And then Season 6 arc, of course, is Rick being like... this first thing is they're all your people, Rick, and finally adopting Alexandria as his people. And that's why I really like the first half. And then the second half is the next world, and Rick kind of being like, well, we're invincible. Me and Alexandria, me and my boys and my girls, we're invincible now. And he kind of gets a bit cocky, right? And that's like season 6, the second half of season 6, where he's so invested now as the president of Alexandria. He's getting a bit cocky. And then season 7 is when he's broken. All right, Rick's arc here is that he's broken down. He's Negan's little bitch boy, and of course he starts the season being defiant, but Negan breaks him down, and then that comes all the way to the finale where he says to Negan, "Oh, don't worry, you can hold the death of my son over me. Doesn't change anything. Kill him if you want. I'm gonna kill you, okay? I'm like, I won't let you hold his death over me." So, yeah, that's his arc in season 7, and then in season 8, it's and it's probably the only good thing about season 8 is Rick's arc is pretty damn solid, right? It starts off, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. It ends with save him, right? It's the fact that Rick finding another way and saving Negan. And then season 9 is, of course, trying to keep everyone together. And it's literally like his arc is replicated in the bridge. It's like, this bridge is the only thing that matters. We need to all stick together. We all need to like be, the coalition, be as one. And of course, it begins to break down. But he kind of unites the coalition by bringing all the, sacrificing himself, saving the hilltop or whatever it was. I think it was the hilltop that the walkers were going towards, and blowing up the bridge, and essentially, almost killing himself to do it. And then in the spin-off, I think his arc's okay as well. It's pretty good. So it's really tricky. If I have to go with a season, though, I'm going to go with season 1. The reason why is because ultimately Rick doesn't have much of an emotional arc in this season. His arc is kind of like, I'm finding my family. I find my family in episode 3. Cool. And then it's like, oh, we got to go save Merle. Oh, we got to go kill the zombies at the camp. Oh, Laurie and Carl, you all right? Oh, we got to go to the CDC. Please let us out the CDC. And the only thing you could do is, like, at the start of the season, Rick and Shane are talking about, like, well, Laurie sort of talks to... Is it Laurie? Or is it Carl? Like, obviously, like, Shane and Rick talk, and Rick's kind of like, oh, they're not really having conversations, him and Laurie. Or, like, and you kind of get the sense that Rick's not... He didn't really talk about his feelings. He's very closed off. And, even when he gets shot, he's like, don't tell Laurie about that, because he doesn't want to have the conversation. And then, of course, at the end of the season, he kind of is an emotional plea. Like, that's what saves them. He's in touch with his emotions because he gives an emotional plea to Janet to let them out. And that's like a small thing, but it's really, like, minor. And don't get me wrong, I love Rick in season 1. I just think he's, like, great in every season. So if I'm going to have to go with anything, I'm going to have to go with season 1. And that's because he's probably like the least developed there. He is pretty surface level. It's man with son, or man with family. Man wants to find family. And there's some great moments in season 1. But then I don't know. You have the Vatos stuff and all that. And see, I do love him in season 1 too. But I do love him in every other season. It's a tricky one. Season 11. I guess that technically counts, right? No. By technicality, it counts because he doesn't show up in a flashback, hallucination, or dream. It's like present day, but it's very briefly. I'd probably go with season 1, but I'm going to cheat and say season 11 because by technicality, he is in season 11 officially, and he doesn't do much. Glenn. Okay, this one's tricky. So of course he dies in season 7, but he's... Should I go with season 7? I'm actually probably going to go for... Oh, God. Maybe season 3. Season 1, he's pretty cool. Can't fault him. Season 2, he's pretty great. Season 3, I think he's probably his best in season 3, where he's in kind of like rage mode. Season 6, 5 and 6, I love him in. Although the latter half of season 6, I really wish they stuck his arc at the end. I could cheat and go with season 7, because he is literally in it just to die. I think we might. Shall I be rude and just cheat? I'm gonna cheat. I love Glenn in every season. It's a tricky one, you see. If I had to go for something else, though, maybe season 5 at a push, because not season 5. Yeah, actually, wait, yeah. No, sorry. If I had to go for anything, maybe it's season 4, because in the first half, he is just ill. He's just a man who's ill. And then, of course, you have him and Tara and the Abraham stuff, which I like, and the reunite with Maggie. But I think, like, the least is there in season 4 for Glenn. So, yeah, we'll go with that. We won't cheat and go with season 7. It officially would be season 7, but that feels like I'm cheating. We'll stick in there for now because it's officially correct. So, but it probably would be season 4. Although I love season 4. Daryl. So, love him in season 1. He's kind of like a funny side character. Season 2, he's hilarious, and he starts to kind of come out of his shell. Season 3 is, of course, the Daryl begins to grunt and grunt and grunt, but he's pretty good in season 3 because of course we have the stuff with Merle and where his allegiance lie, and it's a good season for Daryl. Season 4 is Daryl's best season. It's when he starts to open up. The bonding with Beth is brilliant, and like giving him and like making him join a bunch of rednecks who were just like a bunch of Merles and like Joe's group, the Claimers, and then kind of seeing what they're really like. In a sense, it's kind of like what his brother was really like, because I don't know if he ever really saw who his brother really was, like the full extent, right? Because most of the things that Merle do, he's like Daryl's kind of against, but like, yeah, like Merle's like a fucking neo-Nazi. Like, and it's kind of like Daryl surely knew that, right? And it's like, yeah, but like season 4 is like when Daryl opens up, and I really love Daryl in season 4. Season 5 Daryl, it's like this is where like Daryl starts to like get a bit bad for me. Is he regresses after Beth's death. And kind of like they're like, okay, so we're gonna make him grunty Daryl, and then they just never change that. He carries on being grunty Daryl. Season 6, he's grunty Daryl some more, but there's the stuff with Dwight and the revenge plot, which I don't love. It does feel a bit forced. Season 7 is just the torture Daryl season, where we just torture him for the first half, and then he gets out, and then we have him helping out a bit. He goes from community to community, kind of drifting. Season 8 is his worst, though. Yeah, season 8 is Daryl's worst season. He's the most annoying in season 8. He's the most irrational, and I would say out of character as well. Season 9, they have that forced conflict with Rick, where he's like fighting Rick, which I kind of don't like. Season 10, that's an 8. 9, that is also an 8, isn't it? What am I saying? The forced conflict with Rick, obviously, is in season 8, although it does spill into season 9. You have, of course, the whole garbage truck into the sanctuary, which is like such a stupid plan. Like, why not just stick with the plan that Rick's got? Why are you so hell-bent on killing people? And he's like, it won't hurt the workers. And we see where the garbage truck, it literally goes right where the workers are. What the fuck, man? And then... Yeah, Daryl's just so annoying in season 8. A lot of characters are annoying in season 8, but Daryl especially, because it feels like he should know better. The only moment I like in season 8 from Daryl is the when he says to Dwight, like he spares Dwight, and he's like, go find your wife. Season 9, Daryl does step up a lot, and I like him, but it does feel weird for Daryl being in a, in the leadership position. He's like meh in 10, and he's meh in 11. And in the spin-off, he's kind of meh. But yeah, his worst season is definitely season 8. It's his worst season. I love Daryl, season 1 to 5. Season 6 and he's okay in 6. Season 7 to 11, Daryl's just, he kind of doesn't, he's not as interesting. And you know how I was talking about Rick and his like arc in every season? So like, Daryl is a side character in season 1, so you don't expect an arc. There's a little bit in season 2 though, right? He's looking for Sophia. He's kind of so hell-bent on this. He's very optimistic about it, and he kind of bonds with Carol and like her grief. And then of course, in the end, he's kind of like, this group's broken. Fuck this group, like, because he's so defeated with the whole Sophia thing, and he won't help Laurie. He calls her olive oil. Listen to me, olive oil. But ultimately, he like saves Carol and stuff. And obviously, season 3, his arc is like the allegiance to his brother, and like who does he choose, and like obviously when Merle ultimately dies, he's a bit broken. It's a loose arc there, right? Season 4, is his best season because he obviously starts as like, now he's kind of like everyone's favorite in the prison. Everyone loves him, and he's very social now, even though before he's never really been social. And we find that out when he had the conversation with Beth. He's like, I was just a drifter. I was just going around doing whatever the fuck Merle did, right? And Merle was a drug dealer, so I guess Daryl was kind of a drug dealer too, right? He was just a hunter and a drifter, really. He didn't really do anything at all before the outbreak. So in a sense, he's kind of improved. And yeah, in season 4, he starts off as social butterfly in the prison, but he obviously clearly doesn't like, part of him is not so comfortable with it. And he kind of ends, almost regressing, but then sort of being with Rick, and you have the whole "you're my brother" speech, right? Where Daryl is now fully solidified with Rick, Michonne, and Carl. That this is his people now, right? He knows that he's not a redneck piece, white trash like Merle was, right? He is, he's one of these people, right? He is officially a part of the group fully, right? There's no debate about it, and that's what this is his new family, and that's why I really like him in season 4. Like, that's his arc. Season 5 this is where his arc gets a little, like, you obviously have, he's looking for Beth, he sees Beth, he goes to get Beth dies, Daryl sad, Daryl burned himself with a cigarette, Daryl on road, Daryl walk, Daryl grunt, Daryl come to Alexandria, Daryl like walking around like dog, he's literally like, I don't want shower, Carol, no shower for me, yeah. But then he kind of finds his purpose again in season 5 when because Aaron's like, yeah, you're an outsider, right? We're outsiders too because we're gay. And Daryl's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll hang out with the gays then. And we'll go out looking for people, right? We'll look for we'll look for good people. And of course he finds Morgan, which ultimately is, and brings Morgan back in season 5. So I think season 5, no, actually, I disagree. Season 5 is a good arc for Daryl. And then season 6 comes around. And it's like, okay, what's Daryl's arc here? We're just going to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks. We have Dwight. Oh, he's nice to Dwight and he tries to bring Dwight back to the community. Cool. We're sticking with the whole, he's a recruiter and he sees the good in people. He sees the good in Dwight clearly because he wants to bring Dwight back. But then that ultimately gets thrown back at his face and Dwight's like, yeah, see you later, mate. And then like Dwight comes back. And this is why I think the mistake was. Because Dwight coming back and then killing Denise and being such an asshole, kind of like, it's like, well, Daryl's arc was like going out there and finding new people, and it's like now like the first person he found, other than Morgan, turned out to be an arsehole. It's Dwight, and it's like, okay, well now we're doing the Savior War stuff, so Daryl can't be a recruiter anymore. All right, okay. So season 7 comes along, and Daryl's getting tortured for a bunch. Cool. What's his arc here? I don't know. What is Daryl's arc in season 7? He wants to fight. He already wanted to fight. He lies to Carol briefly, I guess, and then Morgan tells her the truth. I mean, he doesn't really do much in season 7, and then season 8 is just Daryl's grunty angry man going around. He doesn't have an arc in season 8, like admitting he was wrong, a little bit wrong at the end, I guess, maybe like saving Dwight, but like didn't feel like we earned that, right? I feel like there should have been more there, for him to really earn. I like the scene. I just wish there was a bit more build up towards it. And then season 9, I guess it's him not being a hermit anymore and sort of stepping up as almost like a leader to the group. So he does have an arc in season 9. Season 10 is... fuck knows. What is his arc in season 10? I don't remember. I could give you one for Rick for every season. 10? What does Daryl do in season 10? I guess he's leader again. He's there for Carol. He's running around. I mean... He doesn't have like a profound emotional arc. And season 11, I guess it is kind of like becoming like a father to Judith and RJ, and getting the job and sort of almost like becoming like a bureaucrat or a cop and adapting to this, like, in a sense, like he's finally like he's got a real job, right? He's like responsible for children, and I do think that's like really interesting and a new way to go with Daryl, but it didn't feel like they executed it that great. But it wasn't bad. So yeah, I'm going to go with season 8 just because I felt like there wasn't really much of an arc for Daryl in this season anyway. Getting mad at Rick, I guess, is there, and like killing all the saviors as much as he wants. He was just killing all the saviors, like surrendered and shit. But then Rick like does the same shit near the end of season 8 too. So I don't know. Maggie. I'm just going to go with Dead City. Dead City season 1 is her worst. So she's in season 2, she's fine in season 2. She's great in season 3. She's excellent in season 4. She's pretty decent in season 5. Although she just feel like she takes a little bit of a backseat in season 5 with like the whole like, oh, I'm Deanna's advisor. Oh, okay. Season 6, I think she's pretty good. You have all the No Way Out stuff. Where's Glenn? Glenn's dead. Glenn's alive. And then of course you have the baby, the pregnancy, and Season 7, I think she's excellent. The whole we need to get ready to fight them and kind of dealing with Glenn's death in a very sort of, in a very different way, but a way that's understandable because this is a character who's lost a lot and experienced a lot of loss. And then season 8, she's an absolute queen, killing the saviors, taking that real leadership role. I think she's great. Season 9, she's in it very briefly, of course, but I think she's pretty good in that. Stepping up, being very ruthless, kind of being what Rick used to be, being like, I'm gonna be what you used to be, Rick, because that was a good leader. So she kills Gregory. And then she's at the end of season 10 and in the COVID episodes, so I guess we'll count that. Although she doesn't do much. She saves the day, and then has a conversation in that terrible COVID episode. Season 11, I think she's probably like her worst out of the main show. just because it felt like, okay, we've got the Negan stuff, but we already did the whole, like, she forgives Negan in season 9 because she was like, I came here to kill Negan, but Negan's already dead, right? So why are we repeating it in season 11? Why are we doing that? So what they should have done is, at the end of season 10, or at the start of season 11, Negan's just in the cell, right? Maggie, it's fine with Negan being alive. She's not fine with Negan being out the cell, because we already did that. So we need to establish that that distinction. So she's like, I'm fine with you being alive, Negan, but you need to stay in the cell. You're a prisoner. I accepted what Rick did, and that's what's going to be. So Negan should have been back in the cell in season 11. Like, when he showed back at, the Here's Negan episode, he shows back up at Alexandria or Smug. Maggie should be like, that's okay. Get in the fucking cell, right? Carol will be like, don't kill him, Maggie, don't kill him. And, Maggie's like, I'm not going to kill him, but he's staying in the cell. And that should have been it. And then she's like, oh shit, I need Negan for, like, his DC knowledge. And, she's somewhat like, oh, I do kind of hope he dies. Like, oh, I wouldn't be that sad if he died, but we need him. So he's allowed out of his cell for a little bit to help us around DC. And then don't do the whole, like, she's killing, I don't think we should do the whole, like, Maggie wants to kill me. That's why she brought me here. Negan could be like, she doesn't give a shit if I die. Like, I'm the last person she's going to save. But maybe there can be a moment where Maggie does save him. She's like, yeah, I still need you. We're not in DC yet. Negan's like, oh my god, thanks, Maggie. And she's like, it's not flattery. We're not in DC yet. We still need you, mate. Like, it'll be like that. So I do think, like, season 11, but I really like the conversation she has with Negan at the end, where she's like, I can't forgive you. Or what does she say? I can't forgive you, but, like, I'm gonna tolerate it. But, like, don't expect me to, like, look at you with, like, a smile every day, because what you did, you took away a beautiful person from, that kind of, like, that last speech. It was actually pretty well written, and I think a nice way to resolve their conflict. And then Dead City comes along and fucking ruins it. So I have to go with Dead City. She's just a bit annoying in Dead City as well, and I don't think they do anything interesting with Maggie in Dead City. And I hope season 2 is it gets improved, because Jesus Christ, she's insufferable in Dead City. Patricia is only in season 2, so I guess her worst season is season 2. Amy, only in season 1, so I guess her worst season is season 1. Jimmy, he's only in season 2, so I guess his worst season is season 2. Same with Jackie, but obviously season 1. And we'll get Ed out the way as well. Ed is bad. Oh, actually, no, he's in a flashback in season 2. Does that count? No, we don't count flashbacks, do we? So, no. That's it. Yeah. Unless the character is only in a flashback, and then we have to count the flashback. So, Merle Dixon. I'm not counting the hallucination in season 2, so it's literally between season 1 and 3. Obviously, I'm going to go season 1 because he's just angry racist man. He doesn't have much of a character in season 1. He is just angry racist man on Ruth, who is brother to Daryl. So yeah, he'll go up there, season 1. He's great in season 3 though, so I'm not going to pick that. Beth, I think probably season 2, because she is just like annoying teenager who cuts her wrists. And apart from that, I don't think she does anything else other than escape the farm at the finale. I don't remember anything else Beth does in that season, really. Season 3, she doesn't do a whole lot either, but she has a little, she has a few more cool moments and a little bit of character growth there. And in season 4 is obviously probably her best season. Season 5, I don't like the hospital arc stuff that much, but I do think, like, overall the character was, done pretty well. So I'm gonna have to go with season 2 for Beth. T-Dog's worst season is easily season 2, because he doesn't do fuck all. He actually steps up in season 3. He does, a few things like defending the prisoners and, helping out to clear the prison and sacrificing himself for Carol and all that. Like, I feel like he does a lot. Like, he has a bit more character in season 3. In season 2, the only real thing is the stuff with him and Dale. Like, where he's like, him and Dale, he's like with Dale, like, you're old, I'm black. The group doesn't really like us. We're the outcasts. Let's just fuck off and leave. And Dale's like, what the hell are you on about, my dude? And T-Dog's like, and then he's like, I was kind of delirious there, soz. And then after that, I don't think T-Dog really does much. I mean, he kills the well walker, I guess, and he, like, wants to leave again in the finale. He's like, yeah, Laurie, let's go. Laurie, Beth. They're all dead. Let's just go, like, to the coast. And like, wait, don't do that. So yeah, I don't know. He's probably his worst in season 2. But I really like him. I like him a lot in season 1. I think he's like a real character in season 1. Yeah, because he kind of like he has like a real effect to the story as well. So I'd probably say he's worst in season 2. But honestly, he's not bad in season 2. He's just kind of minor. Or maybe we go season 3 because he's like doesn't really do much. Like ultimately his death was kind of pointless. Yeah, we'll do season 3. We'll do season 3 as his worst, actually. He does do some like interesting stuff. Like he starts to step up, I guess. But it feels like they kind of like because I remember they dick teased because they said like T-Dog's going to do lots more in season 3, and then they kill him off in like the 4th episode. And it's like, oh, so that was a lie then. Yeah, but they could have done more with him for sure. I think T-Dog personally, in my personal opinion, I don't mind his death too much. I mean, I probably would kill him off in season 3 if I had to kill off T-Dog. But maybe the death they gave to Axel, maybe give that to T-Dog. Because then at the very least, Andrea can be like, oh fuck, that was someone I knew. You know, when she arrives at the prison, like they killed T-Dog, you know. And it's like, oh my god, no, not T-Dog. Plus then you'd also have... Oh wait, that would just be Azmoral showed up as well, wouldn't it? That would be kind of cruel. Like, yeah. I don't know. Nah, I'm not sure why they could kill T-Dog, really. A shocking death, but then it's kind of like for shock value. I'm not so bothered with the shock value death for like someone as minor as Axel, though. I don't know. But yeah, his worst season's probably 3. Andrea. Andrea's worst season is 2. Okay, now some people are gonna say 3 because she doesn't join the governor's side, and some people can say 1 because she doesn't do that much. I'm gonna say 2 though because I feel like 1 was kind of set up for her, so I can't really rag on it too much. I feel like, you know, we're setting the character up, and also we have that gut wrenching scene with you know, where she no 1's great. It's not even just set up. You know, we have obviously we set her up as like she is mad at Rick. Obviously, she really cares about her sister and she kind of like apologizes to Rick, and she's like, you know, sorry, I reacted that way, and she's like, you know, this is the necklace, and she's like, wouldn't it be stealing? And Rick's like, it doesn't really matter, and so she really cares about her sister. We can tell that. We see them reunite, and of course then bond when they're fishing, and of course Amy dies, and you have that gut-wrenching scene where Andrea is like standing by her body, and then Amy turns, fucking brutal, and then of course Andrea goes to the CDC, almost kills herself, but is convinced by Dale to escape. So I think Andrea's actually great in season 2. Season 1. Season 2, Andrea, it's obviously we have stepping up to the group. Although she gets a bit, well, they have the thing with she's not unsure if she wants to die, but then she has the thing with the RV zombie where she kills that zombie, and then she almost gets jumped by another zombie. So, oh my god, Andrea, stop. And then, of course, she shoots Daryl. Yeah, she shoots Daryl. She starts to step up, though, in the group, and obviously Shane's training her and stuff, and then they have sex and stuff, and yeah, like Laura, like, she's like, the reason why I say season 2 is probably because she has probably her most annoying moments in season 2, especially like when she's like tells Beth like, kill yourself, Beth, do it. And it's like, whoa, and then Laurie's like, Jesus, like I think Maggie's like, you're banned from the house now. You cannot tell a suicidal teenager. And Andrew's like, well, if she's suicidal, then let her do it. But if she's not, then she's not. And then they're like, she tried to kill herself, and Andrew's like, yeah, but it wasn't. But then she called for help, so it's okay. She doesn't want to die. There you go. And it's like, Jesus Christ, that was a weird plot point for Andrea. I just don't think they do that. Apart from her training like in like marksmanship and all that. Apart from that, I don't think they really do that much interesting stuff with Andrea. Even like Dale's death, I feel like she doesn't really hit her as hard as I would have wanted it to. So yeah, I'm going to go with Andrea for season 2. Season 3, I like Andrea. I know people are going to say, but she like sides with the governor. She doesn't side with the governor, okay? You need to rewatch, okay? What happens is, and Michonne has some suspicions, but she doesn't really tell Andrea everything. She's like, something off about this place, about the governor. And Andrea's like, what? And Michonne's like, it's a bit sus, right, that these trucks came back and there's a few bullet holes in them. And Andrea's like, but there could be other explanations. And Michonne's like, I'm leaving. And Andrea's like, oh. And she's like, you're not coming with me? And Andrea's like, well, this place is safe. It's got like people and shit. And Michonne's like, okay, you choose the warm bed over a friend. And Andrea's like, whoa, hang on. Like, this is what I mean. Like, hang on a minute, Michonne. Like, Andrea was like fucking dying of like a fever before. Like, I understand why Andrea stays, like chooses Woodbury over Michonne, right? Because Michonne is being irrational. And I understand because it makes sense for Michonne's character. But in Andrea's head, Michonne's being completely irrational. She's got some, like, this place has given her the ick, and she's decided to go. And Andrea's like, okay, well, it's got, like, a doctor, and this governor guy seems really nice, and yeah, they have some odd practices, but yeah, and then Andrea sort of, and everything, like, the governor is, like, an ultimate gaslighter, right? When she sees the arenas with the zombies, the governor's like, yeah, but it's like a bit of light entertainment, and Andrew's like, oh, I guess I see that, right? Makes sense, right? And then she sees the heads, and the governor's like, well, I have the heads in the jars because it makes it easier to face the outside world. You know, it helps me. And he's like vulnerable with it, like, you know, because it's scary outside. And Andrew's like, it's fucking weird, but it makes sense. And obviously having Penny makes sense because it's his daughter. She understands that. And then Michonne's just come in here and killed his daughter, basically. And so she kind of sympathizes with him. And then he starts to crack a little bit. And obviously there's the war with the prison. But it's not just the governor. It's not just the governor versus Rick, right? It's all the people of Woodbury. And she wants to make sure that these people are, again, these are good. A lot of these people are good people. And the one they kill off is Haley, the young girl who obviously with the arrow, right? Maggie kills Haley, and Andrea like by her body because this is a girl that she sort of bonded with for a little bit, right? So it's kind of like, well, fuck, there's good people on both sides here. So Andrea's not just gonna, like, she's the only thing that is stopping these two groups from, like, just killing each other, right? Because she's got a connection to both groups. So she doesn't just leave to go to the prison because that would be the end of it, right? She wants to make sure that both sides can find a peaceful resolution. So that's what she's trying to do the whole time. And then when she finally, and there's probably a moment where she probably should have left her after the meeting, but when she finally sees the full extent, because Milton just tells her full out, like, oh, he's just going to kill them all, and also the governor's a freak, let me show you his little room, and Andrea's like, oh, fuck, this guy's a freak, I'm going to leave, right? When Andrea gets the full picture of who the governor really is, his deep, dark side, which I think is, to some respect, she never, like, saw the full extent of it because, like, it hadn't come out yet, when she saw the full side of the governor, she fucking left. But obviously it was too late. The governor grabbed her and then she died as a result. So I don't dislike Andrea in season 3. I think everything she does is within her character and makes sense, right? You can be annoyed because we as the audience know something she as a character doesn't know. But that's ultimately what it comes down to, is we are judging her for something we know that she doesn't know. And that's where I think most people hate Andrea for, is they don't realise that she doesn't know half the stuff that we know. So I think her worst season 2. Sophia, I guess her worst season 1, because she barely does anything. I mean, season 2, she actually has an impact on the story, so we'll go with season 1. Shane's worst season, he's only in 2 seasons. Don't count the cameos he has, or the hallucination in season 3 and the hallucination in season 9. We can't count them. So it's literally between season 1 and season 2. He is pretty amazing in season 2, so I have to go with season 1. Yeah. Milton, only in season 3, so we'll have to go with season 3, but I do love Milton overall. Bertie, oh god. Bertie is in season 6, first appears, and then she's in 7, 8, 9, and 10. She might be in 11, I don't remember. I don't think she actually appears in season 11 though, but I might be mistaken. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We'll go with 10. We'll go with, I don't know. What does she do in 9? Probably not much. We'll go with 9. I don't think she does much there. It really doesn't matter. Dante's only in season 10, but Dante's a whack character, so we'll go with Dante. Marco, he's in 9, 10, and 11. He's like, it's difficult with these minor characters because they don't really do much ultimately. We'll go with season 11 because he randomly shows up again for like 2 episodes only to die. That was pretty annoying. I think he's pretty cool and likable in season 9 and 10. Yeah, he's around. Brandon, awful character. Season 10, he's only in season 10, so we'll say he's the worst in season 10. Yeah. Jocelyn is only in season 9, so we'll go with that. Alec is only in season 9, so we'll go there. Primo is only in season 6, so we'll put him there. Tammy Rose Sutton, so she's in 9, and she's only in 9 actually, no, because she gets piked. So yeah, she's going to go there. This is a bit boring. We'll get past these in a sec. Gary is in, is he in 7? Yeah, he's in 7. He's in 7 and 8. His worst season, probably 8, because I feel like Gary was kind of like set up as like a pretty memorable face. Like he had lines and he had like a bit of personality to him, and then he just kind of gets killed in the mutiny, like the Simon mutiny, and they're like, oh, he's gone. I was like, oh, all right then, cool. He just kind of gets killed off with all the other extras, and it's like, all right, he's dead then. So I don't know, I'll probably go with 8 for him. But honestly, it doesn't really matter. Justin is only in 9, so he goes there. Ozzy is only in 9, so he goes there. Virgil. So Virgil is in both season 10 and season 11. Easily his worst season is season 11, because he's only in the On the Inside episode. He gets stabbed multiple times, somehow survives, and then he shows up again in like the mid-season finale, right, the Storm one, and he might show up in the mid-season premiere as well. And then he disappears, and I was like, okay, what the fuck was the point of Virgil? Probably should have just killed him, like have him sacrifice himself for Connie. There we go, we're done with his character. He was a boring character anyway. I never liked his character. I love the actor as well, so it's such a shame. Rachel. She's in 11, isn't she? Yeah, she's in 10, 11, 9, and she's in 7. She's in 8. She's in all the seasons, I think, from 7 onwards. We'll go with... She's a little annoying kid in 7. She's an annoying kid in 8. And then she gets aged up in 9. I will go with 8 ultimately, because like the Oceanside characters don't do anything in 8. Like... We set them up in 7 for them to do nothing in 8. I mean, all they do is throw some fucking Molotov cocktails, and they steal the show from Alden and the Defected Saviors. So, yeah, fuck the Oceanside in season 8. Earl, he is in 9, he is in 10. I think he really steps up in season 10 and becomes quite interesting. So I think I'll go with 9. Although I like him in both seasons, to be honest. But he is just Blacksmith Guy in season 9, really, and dude who lost his son. And, yeah, Michonne. Okay, so this is an interesting one. So, of course, first shows up at the end of season 2. So, yeah, worst season 2. No, we won't count season 2, because that's like 2 seconds. It's not even, it's like a fucking person. It's a standing in a hood. So, she's in season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and she's in 10. And she's in 11, technically, as well. So, I guess we could cheat and say, well, 11. And we will cheat. But apart from that, where would I put her? So, I think she's great in season 3. Finally, she kind of starts off as cold, never told Andrew anything, and she kind of becomes, she's joking around with Rick and stuff and kind of bonding a little bit with Carl. And in season 4, she's coming out of her shell a little bit at the end of season 3. Season 4 is when she really comes out of her shell. She starts to, confess things to Carl about her, like, son, and, yeah, like a really great moment. And now the governor's dead, it's kind of allowed a lot of that. It's allowed her to come out of her shell, and she really has that great moment with Carl in A, where Carl's like, what if I'm just another monster too? And Michonne sort of consoles him. So, yeah, I love Michonne in season 4. Season 5 is her, being kind of that almost that ally to Rick, that mentor to Rick in a sense, where she's like, with the whole Alexander, like, what do you hear outside Alexander? What did you hear outside of Terminus? What did you hear outside of Woodbury? She's that sort of mentor figure, but also like in her own right kind of has a little bit of an arc with the whole police officer stuff and kind of putting away her sword. Season 6, of course, you have the relationship thing and her being like sort of loyal to Rick and kind of finding out what she wants to do with her life, and of course that is Rick. Yeah. And then season 7, it's she wants to fight. Rick doesn't want to fight. She wants to fight. Rick's like, okay, let's fight. And of course, her and Rick also like accepting that one of them can die in this war. And then season 8 is the stuff with Carl. Carl dies. Whatever. Season 9, she's like, you have all the scars thing and how she's become this cold, jaded leader. Closed off the community, and then finally her arc is obviously like uniting with the rest of the communities and signing the coalition and no longer being like isolated away. Obviously, I also have the loss of Rick and stuff as well. And then season 10, she fucks off to go. Actually, no, her worst season is 10 because she fucks off to go to look for Rick because she finds some boots. And people like to say, well, Judith did say that the war was over. I'm like, and Michonne's not God, Michonne's a woman on her own, right? A person on her own, right? Yes, she's very capable, but she's going into God knows what terrain, right? On her own, leaving her children without a parent around, right? Why doesn't she, if she, and I understand why she cares so much about Rick, and she has a lead, but she has a lead, she can go back to it. And she doesn't know how old these boots are. They could be 1 year old, or they could be, they could be 6 years old. She doesn't know how old these boots even are. So it's like a small lead at that. The chances that she, so even if Judith's like, no, go, mom, go, Michonne should be, hang on a minute, you're a child, I shouldn't listen to you. It would make more sense to go back to the community, give her a little search team, right? A few, because I'm just one woman on my own, right? At the end of the day, anything could be out there. A guy with a fucking big old brownie machine gun. Like, I know the characters have plot armor, but they're not meant to believe they have plot armor in the narrative, and that's my issue with it. Really, is she goes out on her own, potentially orphaning her children, abandoning her children. And I understand one of her child gave permission, the other one didn't, by the way. RJ never said, yeah, mom, go out. Like, it was Judith who said that. One child gave permission, so she does it. She's like, fuck it, yeah, my kids will be alright. So yeah. And it wouldn't. I get how we're getting there, but it feels a little bit forced, like, to get her there. I would have preferred it if they just had her be kidnapped as well. Just have her be kidnapped by, like, a different fucking group. And she's like, have her be kidnapped by the fucking caravan people, right? The nomads, Nats group. And then it's like, you're the people who kidnapped Rick. And I'm like, who the fuck's Rick? Anyway, join our caravan, our traveling circus people, right? I don't know. Stuff like that could have been fine, but whatever. They had Michonne leave. Yeah, worst season 10. And they didn't really do anything interesting with Michonne in season 10. It's the paranoia with the Whisperers and the Sadiq death, and then they go to Oceanside. It felt like it was like, we need to get rid of Michonne now, so we'll give her that drug trip. And that final Michonne episode was dreadful. The whole, like, drug trip and, like, the what if scenario, it was awful. I hated it. It just felt like, we got to do what Marvel does. I don't know. It just felt cheesy. We got Dr. Edwin Jenner. Now, he is in a spin-off, but is it a flashback? Can we count that as a flashback? We'll say season 1 is his worst, even though it's the only season he's really in. Axel is only in season 3, so we have to go with that. Patrick is only in season 4, so we'll go with that. Tyrese. Now, he is in 3, he is in 4, he is in 5. And I think the worst is probably 5. I think 4, he has a great arc. He starts off with Karen's dead. He's like, I'm going to find whoever did this and you bring them to me. He's like, bring that person to me and I'll kill them, basically. And then, of course, you have Tyrese getting broken, and then he kind of comes back when Sasha, of course, recovers from the flu. He stops being so broken, I guess. And then, of course, there's the prison battle, and he's left with the worst group ever. He's got Lizzie, Judith, and Mika, but then Carol joins, so that's cool. And of course, then we have to kill Lizzie because she's too psycho. And then Tyrese is like fucking broken from that, and Carol's like, oh, by the way, I killed Karen and David. Here's a gun. Shoot me if you want. And Tyrese, of course, forgives her. So I think season 4 is great for Tyrese. Season 3 is very much set up, but I think Tyrese really is his own character here. Like, we really see who he is and what he cares about and his values. Where he's like to Rick, like, we'll earn a place, let us join the prison. If you want us to help fight this group as well, we can do that too. And then, of course, Rick's like, get out of here, get out. And then Tyrese goes to the Woodbury instead. But then obviously when he knows about the battle, he's like, hang on, there's like women, there's a baby there, there's children there. And he's like, we don't want to fight in this battle. We'll defend the community. And the governor's like, okay, thank you. And that's kind of really all Tyrese does, but it's like a setup character, right? And I can't really rag on it that much. Season 4, I really love him, like I said. My problem is probably with season 5, because season 5 is like, okay, what are we doing with this character? So we have the stuff with Martin, first of all, where he spares Martin, even though Martin was clearly a threat and was an evil one of the most evil people in the universe. And Tyrese spares him. It's like, oh my god, what are you doing, Tyrese? And of course, then as almost like as a punishment, Tyrese watches Sasha gut the ever living fuck out of the person that Tyrese spared. And it's like, oh shit, okay, fair dues, we're doing that, cool. Yeah, that was brutal. And then it's like, okay, so what do we do with Tyrese now? So he buries, he kind of kills Bob, right? And we has like the nice moment with Sasha and buries Bob, and then it's like, okay, we got to go rescue Beth now. And then Tyrese is like, hang on, let's not kill people. Let's try and find a peaceful way, Rick. Let's not slit their throats. Can't we just like trade the cops 2 for 2? There we go. So he kind of comes up with that plan, and it's like, oh, cool. Tyrese is really stepping up. He's kind of like he is like the moral compass of the group. He's the new Herschel, and he's dead, and he dies in such a, I think, a bad way personally. And here's my like rewrite for Tyrese. You ready? And he doesn't even survive that many episodes extra. So I don't know what we do with a Noah episode really, or even if we do the Noah episode. We could do the Noah episode. We'll do the Noah episode. Hell, maybe I don't know. How do we change that episode? I'm not sure. But forget the Noah episode for a second. So I think Tyrese's death ultimately should be the group are on the road. They're fucking starving. They're thirsty. They're like, Judith is like, they're worried about Judith, so they're kind of like giving all their supplies to, they have some baby food and some like water, and it's like, nope, it's just for Judith. The baby food's only for Judith, right? And they're all starving, they're all like dehydrated really badly, and then I think the dogs come, the pack of dogs, but we make the pack of dogs an actual threat. Like Sasha's out going crazy, going kind of dealing with Bob's death, and Tyrese is still alive at this point. We're keeping him alive, and Sasha's out doing her thing, and then the dogs attack, and they actually attack the group. Like, our group's too weak to defend themselves from a pack of dogs, and they've got no ammo, right? They've wasted their ammo. They've got no ammo, and they're getting mauled by these dogs. Like, think of how fucking brutal that is. Then Sasha saves the day, and I think near the end of it, Tyrese reveals that, like, earlier on in the episode, he got bit. And then Sasha's like, what the fuck? Yeah, I think that's how we do it. Like, the real, like, Tyrese, ultimately dies, of course. They can be like, he got bit on the wrist, so they try to amputate it. So Sasha's like, nope. Tyrese's like, wait, no, I don't want to be amputated. Don't do that to me. Like, it's fine. It's Sasha. It is what it is. And Sasha's like, no, I'm not losing you too. So she's like, Michonne, chop his arm off. I said fucking chop it off. And so, Michonne chops his arm off, and even though Tyrese said no, and we can do some, like, I don't think we do the hallucination stuff with Tyrese. And then he dies with the group, right, from blood loss, because they've got no medical supplies. They've got it was like Sasha's like last hope basically, and they're literally completely defeated. And then the hurricane comes, the tornado comes. This is obviously, they're at the barn at this point. The tornado comes in. They all like pile up on the barn, and of course they all stick together. Even though they've lost Tyrese, they all kind of come together as one unit, even though they're all weak and they're all dehydrated and they've got no food. And I think, like, really show it. Don't like just tell us. Show us like the group really weak. Like, show us like Rick, I don't know, collapsing from exhaustion, or like from the lack of fucking water and food. And I don't have that moment where the rain falls either. Like, a little bit of rain falls and they're like, oh, cool, water. No, they don't get water until the end of the episode, because the end of the episode is when Aaron shows up. There's I think as well, just have like a knock on the barn. Like, he's like, oh, what the fuck's that? And they open up and he's like, hi, whoa, hi, I'm a friend, and then end it there. Yeah. So that's how I do Tyrese. So he died in that episode instead. Because I feel like that's some, like, more, his death has more meaning, especially because he's the moral compass. And you can start the episode like Tyrese being like, "It's gonna be okay, guys. We're gonna make it." I kind of went on a bit of a tangent there, but I don't think I've pitched that idea before, so I figured I'd do it today. So yeah, for me, probably worst season 5, just because I feel like they butchered his character a little bit. Tara is in season 4. Well, she's pretty cool in season 4. Season 5, she doesn't really do that much, but she's okay. Season 6, she doesn't do much, but she's okay. And then she fucks off to have a baby. I mean, to go look for supplies with Heath. Season 8, she's just... I understand she's mad because of her girlfriend being murdered, and she, like, runs around with Dwight. I just find her a little bit insufferable. And it's like we're doing the same... Like, Daryl and her have the same, like, story beat, where they're going after Dwight, and they're mad at Dwight, and they want to kill Dwight. And then they, like, flip-flop as well, where they're like, Daryl's like, well, it's okay, Dwight's, we need him on our side. And then Tara's like, Daryl, I kind of forgive Dwight now. And it's like, wait, what? They've just flipped. So yeah, I find Tara very annoying in season 8. Tomas Tomas is only in season 3, so he goes there. Andrew is only in season 3, so he goes there. Oscar is only in season 3, so he goes there. Gilmero is only in season 1, so he goes there. Shumper is only in season 3, sadly, so he goes there. It's worst season. Randall is only in season 2, so of course his worst season is in season 2. Dr. Emmett Carson, he is in season 7, and he gets killed in season 7, doesn't he? So he goes there. Martin, only in season 5. I do like Martin though. He goes there. Eastman, only in a flashback within season 6, so of course he goes there. We're just sort of speeding through some of these now, but that's okay. Nicholas, he's in season 5 and he's in season 6. I think his worst season is probably... it's really... It doesn't really matter. I think they're about the same. On like the same level. I like him in season 5, him sort of being an absolute dickhead, absolute coward, and then he tries to kill Glenn at the end of season 5 and fails. But Glenn, being such the good guy he is, obviously spares his life and brings him back to Alexandria. That's a great moment. And then in season 6, he's like really trying his hardest to redeem himself, and he is. And he honestly is trying his best, but he ultimately just fucks up badly, and then like his death. And I do kind of like that. I'd probably say season 6 though, because I think I think Glenn should have had like no other way. It's him or Nicholas, and Glenn was forced to kill Nicholas, and like that really stuck with him because he was like, and he can say to Matt, and people were saying like, hang on, that makes no sense. It's out of character for Glenn to kill Nicholas. I went, no. Glenn was like fighting Merle in season 3, right? And he was like, he wanted to like kill the governor. He was like, what, that bastard did. So it's not out of Glenn's character to want to murder someone. And it's also not murder. It's like, well, it's not like cold-blooded murder. It's like they're in a situation, the zombie's coming. Glenn has tried everything he can with Nicholas. He's helped him. Like, he saved his life, even though he tried to kill Glenn. They're getting pinned, or whatever it may be. I don't know what the situation is, but in some respect, Glenn can be like, oh, I don't know, actually, yeah, on the dumpster, and maybe there's like, I don't know, like a ladder off the side of the building. He's like, Nicholas, I need you to boost me into the ladder. And Nicholas boosts him on the ladder, and Glenn gets up, and he's like, okay, Nicholas. And the ladder, I don't know, maybe the ladder's like on like loose hinges and it's about to fall. And Nicholas is like, wait, get me. And Glenn's like, it won't hold. He's like, wait, you can't leave me. And Glenn's like, fuck, I have to. So maybe no, he doesn't kill Nicholas. He's just forced to leave Nicholas. And Nicholas, it's like the revolving door again, right? Where Nicholas could go. It's up on the ladder too, but it might fall. So Glenn climbs up to the window, and he's like, now you. Oh, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work. Now you, Nicholas. And then, I don't know, maybe the ladder goes or some shit. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay. But ultimately, I think Glenn should, in some respect, get Nicholas killed. I think that would have been a good arc for Glenn. But ultimately, I think Nicholas is fine in both seasons. But I'm going to say season 6. Weird tangent. Ignore me. Zach. He's only in season 4, so we'll go with season 4. Stephen Edwards. He's only in season 5, so we'll put him in season 5. Dawn is only in season 5, so she goes there too. Gareth is in both season 5 and season 4. I guess by proxy we'll go season 4 because he's only in one episode in season 4, and it is a cool reveal that he's actually a termite. He's actually a termite. Sorry, not termite. He's actually a cannibal, but I mean, yeah. I just noticed there's no animals on this tier list. That's sad. I like animals. Oh well. Paula is only in season 6, so of course she goes there. Bob Stuckey, he's in 5 and he's in 4. I like him in both. It's an impossible decision. I'm going to go with 5 though, because he's not in it that much. And that's really all it comes down to. But I like him in both seasons. Alan was never good, but we'll say his worst is season 3. He's only in season 3. Lizzie is only in season 4, but I like Lizzie and Mika. I think they're two really great characters. And someone was like, why you got Lizzie in S tier? Because she's the best character. She's a great character. Diane. I don't fucking care. Season 11, I guess. She didn't really do much in season 11. She's not there for Maggie. She abandons Maggie and goes to the Commonwealth. So fuck you, Diana. Or Diane, whatever your name is. Reg. He's only in season 5, so we'll go with season 5. Mika with her sister in season 4. Spencer. I actually really like Spencer in season 7. Upon rewatching season 7, I kind of like get him a bit more. I think his worst is probably season 5 because he like is like at first it's like, oh, I guess there is no Spencer in the TV show. It's Aiden, and then it's like, oh no, Spencer's there, and I don't know. He's like flirting with Sasha, and I don't know. We just don't get the whole sense of Spencer, I don't think, in season 5. And then we really get to know him in season 6 and kind of what a shitbag he is. But he's also an understandable shitbag. He's trying his best. Aiden's only in season 5, so we'll go season 5. Noah is only in season 5, so we'll go season 5. Ron is in season 5 and in season 6. He does kind of shift quite quickly into like a little shit in season 6, but he's kind of just a chilled kid in season 5, so not that interesting, so we'll put him there. Enid shows up in season 5, she's in 6, she's in 7, she's in 8, and she's in 9. I think her least interesting season is 8, easily. So 5, she's a little edgy, but it's just we're kind of setting her up, right? So I think it's fine. But you also have the stuff with like her going outside and Carl joining her. So I like all the stuff in season 5. Season 6 is where she kind of does get a bit of an arc, where she abandons the group at first after the walls attack, but then Glenn's like, no. You know, these people, they helped you, they brought you back, they're your people now, kind of thing. And she's like, your parents made you who you are, blah blah blah. And so she kind of becomes a part of the group, of course, and she helps to fight in the No Way Out, and then she's in the community and tries to get Carl. She gets locked in the closet by Carl when he's like, no, you can't come help us, Enid. And then season 7, she of course goes with Maggie to the hilltop. Obviously you have the little relationship stuff with her and Carl. I mean, I like all that. And then season 8, it's like she joins the war, but only for show, really, because she's like, I don't know, she goes to the sanctuary to shoot at windows, I guess. And then she comes back, and it's like, fuck, what can we do with Enid this season? We are going to kill Carl off, so she's going to have a little cry over that. And it's like, what can we do with her now? Who can we pair her with? Aaron. We'll pair her with Aaron. And she'll go to the ocean side. Oh, cool, yeah. And she'll kill Grandma. So, yeah, she kills Grandma, and then I don't know, she then fucks off back to the hilltop, I guess, and it's like, okay, cool, that's it for Enid. So yeah, they don't really do with it. It's kind of like with Lydia, with killing off Henry. When you have it, this is the problem with like killing off when you have like characters who are in like a couple. Like Enid is great, but she's like a character who's only great with Carl, right, alongside Carl or alongside Maggie. And the problem is they kill Carl in season 8, and then Maggie disappears like after a bit of season 9. So Enid kind of doesn't have one of those characters that sort of makes her. It's like having Michonne without Rick, right, or having Michonne without Andrew in season 2, or season 3. Maybe I need a better example of a lesser character, because I think their main characters are a bit different there. It's like having Jesse without Rick. Yeah, it'd be like if Rick died in season 5 and we have Jesse. But I don't want people to say this is like a woman thing, right? It's like, oh, it's just you don't think she's interesting. She needs the man to be interesting. No. I think it worked with Maggie, for example. Like, I think getting rid of Glenn, like they are very much like a couple character. Like they're two characters of their own right? But of course they're always a couple. And of course we got rid of Glenn. But I think Maggie held her own because she had her own like story to go, right? And a lot of it was avenging Glenn. Like it was still about still about a man. But then in a sense that's like every story, right? Because Rick's getting over Laurie, and yeah, they really should like let Maggie find a new lover, I feel, because it does feel a bit weird thinking about that. Rick moves on very quickly. Maggie has never moved on. Carol moved on pretty quickly, though. She got Tobin. But then her husband was abusive, so I don't know if that counts. This is a weird tangent we've gone on, isn't it? It's always so fun. Yeah, but they just didn't do anything. Yeah, season 8 was boring for Enid, is all I'm trying to say. And then season 9, I like the whole Doctors thing, but yeah, season 8's the worst. Now, Rosita, I love her in season 11. I like her enough in season 10. Season 9, I think she doesn't do a whole lot in season 9, really. You have all the relationship stuff though near the end. So yeah, but it's not my favourite storyline with Rosita. Season 8, she's okay. Although to be honest, she doesn't do that much in season 8. other than kidnap. She's in bed for the first couple of episodes, recovering from a gunshot, and then she dicks around in a warehouse with some speakers and blows some guy up with an RPG, and then she what does she do after that? Really, she kidnaps Eugene and roasts him. And then she's in the final battle. Yeah, I'd probably say season 8 is like the least interesting for Rosita. I really like her in season 7. I think she's fine in season 6. She's like fine in season 5, but she's she's a bit more of a background character here. I don't know, maybe I should say season 4, but I'd actually like her a lot in season 5. She's fine in season 4 though as well. There's some good moments with her. Yeah, we'll go with season 8 because she honestly doesn't do anything. They don't do anything with Rosita. Because it felt like they were done with the Abraham stuff at the end of season 7, and it's like, did she even bring up Abraham in season 8? I don't even know. Like, she has no opinion about sparing Negan either. Don't you find that weird? Sorry, I had to cough. She's like the one person, like, other than Maggie, who's had like an important person taken from her, right? Oh, because Sasha at this point dead, and she has like no opinion of Negan being spared. I feel she just like, it's like, Eugene, you puked on me. Punch you in the face. So yeah, I'm gonna say Rosita's worst season is probably 8. Heath is 7 because he disappears. Yeah, like Heath is actually fairly somewhat interesting of a character, I feel, especially like what they was doing, like the setup they had for him in season 6, and then he just disappears, and it's like, oh, okay. Dwayne, his worst is, I guess, season 1. He's only in season 1. Scott, Scott's worst season. Now, he's in season 6, that's when he first appears. And then he's in season 7. He's in season 8. He's in 9. He's in 10. And I think he briefly is in 11. And I think he has the most speaking parts in 10. And 9. He does just get shot in the leg and then he has an infection in season 6. So, we'll go with 6. Because he doesn't do much. No, his first appearance is 6, yeah, because he shows up at the start. Yeah, we'll go with 6. Honestly, it doesn't matter, though. It's fucking Scott. P is only in season 5, so he's going to go there. Sam Anderson. He is in season 4 and 5. But we'll go with 5, because we never actually learn how he got to the to Terminus. He's just there, and he gets his throat slit, so we'll go for that. He doesn't even have a speaking line. Abraham. His best season is easily season 6. I guess by proxy, did we go 7 again? I guess we will, because he's in 4. He's great in 4. I think he's excellent in 5 as well. If I had to go for one, like an actual proper season though that he's in, I'd probably say 4, just because he's in it the least. We'll go with that. We won't cheat like we did with Glenn. What did I say for Glenn anyway? It's the worst. Probably 4, right? Yeah. I mean, if I had to say a worse season for either of these characters, it probably is 4. But then I love them. I love season 4, and I love them in season 4. But it's more because like Abraham has a bit more of an arc in season 5 and in season 6. Obviously in 4 he's just being set up, and in season 7 it feels hard to count that because it's just like he dies in the first episode. Same with Glenn. It's more because Glenn is like sick for the first half of the season, and the second half is focused on like finding Maggie Wright and that sort of optimism he has. So yeah, I think I'd probably go for 4 for both of them. Megan is only in season 4. Mitch is only in season 4. Jerry. Jerry is like one of these characters that I feel like this is like the Daryl effect. So they introduce a comic relief character like a Daryl, who's like, because he's a comic relief in season 1, and it's like, okay, cool. He's funny in season 7 when he first appears. He's very likable. And season 8, he has a few moments where like there's a moment where him and Ezekiel like seemingly are close to death, and it's like, oh shit, oh no, and then they kind of don't do anything with it, and it's like he just sort of remains almost like the comic relief / like he doesn't really get any like real moment of his own to like shine, and that's my like biggest problem with Jerry. I guess it would have been cool if he had a bit more like development, like a bit more like, and this is where I feel like they should have killed off his wife, or no, maybe not his kids, but kill off his wife, kill off Nabila, kill her off in season 9, have her be a pike death, because you can leave the hijab on her head as well, so you could be like, oh yeah, that's the Muslim woman who's married to Jerry. I would have liked that just to kind of like give Jerry something to do, make Jerry like more interesting, make him an angry man with like rage and stuff. So I'm gonna go season 10 because I feel like Jerry doesn't do anything. He's like suddenly now like a main character, I guess. He gets stuck in the cave, but then he survives. It's like okay. Yeah, he does some interesting things in season 11, and I think he's okay in season 9, and he's okay in season 7 and 8. Benjamin's only in season 7, so I guess he has to go there. Simon, I think is probably at his worst in season 8. I think he's fine in season 6. He's fine in season 7, and then they do the whole mutiny. I just don't like the whole mutiny storyline. It's not my thing. I think it's done pretty poorly actually. So for me, Simon is at his worst in season 8. Cal, I don't know. Season 9 because he has a haircut and I don't like his new haircut. Gregory. I mean, he's only one episode of season 9. I think season 8 though, because this is where Gregory's like, okay, you're overstaying your welcome here, Gregory. How is Maggie putting up with this dude? Jesus is definitely at his worst in season 8. He's annoying. He's preachy. He like literally kills 2 people. And then he, like, a minute later, in the same building, on the same day, in the same hour, he lectures to Tara, like, oh no, we can't kill this guy who just tried to kill me. Because that would be mean. It's like, okay, but you just shot some people in the hallway. And also, the last time we were at the satellite outpost, you were cool with Rick murdering people in their sleep. So what has changed, Jesus? Again, they're just 118 characters. They do this all the time in season 8. And it's just fucking annoying. Like, if this guy were just surrendering and Tara was like, I want to kill him. And Jesus was like, well, hang on, he's surrendering. But it's the fact that not only does he surrender, he then, like, attacks Jesus, right? And gets the gun and almost, like, tries to kill Tara. And then Jesus is still like, I know, we're going to spare him. That's what annoys me. At that point, Jesus should have been like, oh, I guess you're right, Tara. Snap his neck. Yeah, cool. Yeah, he's annoying. And then he's handing like fucking rotten turnips to the prisoners. Like, no one wants to eat a turnip, Jesus. What the fuck are you doing? And then he's preaching, and then he's telling Morgan, use this part of your stick to knock people out, and use this part to kill the walkers. So this part's for humans, this part's for walkers. I'm like, Jesus, you can't be the one lecturing Morgan. Morgan met Eastman, okay? You're a fake pacifist. So, yeah, for me, the worst is season 8 for Jesus. And I think overall, Jesus is probably my least favourite main character. I think he's pretty boring. Ezekiel, his worst season is probably 10. I don't know. He should have died in the Pikes. He's just like, in 10 and 11, he's boring. I just don't care. Maybe even 11. I think I'll probably say 11. Yeah. I don't think Ezekiel does anything that interesting in season 11. He's like, he arrives at the Commonwealth, he's got his cancer, and then he's, what else happens? I guess he becomes zookeeper, and it's like he's all happy, and then he secretly is helping people with medical treatments after he, of course, gets bumped up the list. And that's it, really. It's like, okay, he's got cancer, his cancer's cured, cool. He's helping other people who need medical treatments, cool. He gets put in the labor camp, cool, and then he, like, almost sacrifices himself for Negan. Even though, like, I think him and Negan have, like, never interacted before, but whatever. I guess they're interacting for the first time now or whatever. And it's like, okay, is that it for Ezekiel? Oh, and also he's the governor of the Commonwealth. Why? Because we couldn't have, like, we had to have a main character, one of our characters, be the leader. And who else but Ezekiel, because he lost his kingdom. Sorry, coughing. I've been talking for a while here. Oh, should we wrap this up? A wrap. I guess we'll go with I don't know, season 9, she dies. Richard, only in season 7. Negan, this is a good one. So he's in season 6. He's fine there. Season 7, I think he's okay. Season 8 is when they start to like retcon the character a little bit, I feel. And season 9, or season 9 is when season 10 is when they really retcon the character. And then season 11, I'm going to go season 11. Because they just don't do anything. I don't know, but then there's moments I like with him in season 11. Negan's a tricky one. His worst season. I think his best is probably season 7, to be honest. His worst, I think he's okay in season 8. Season 9, maybe? I mean, he didn't really do that much in season 9. Really? Yeah. But there's not really a bad season. I have my issues with Negan. Maybe even Dead City. But then there's a few cool moments in Dead City. It's tricky. It's a toss up between Dead City and season 9. But then I do kind of like him in season 9 as well. Like there's the whole Maggie stuff, like sparing him, and then you of course have the bonding with Judith, and once we kind of do the time jump and the stuff with the winter storm and him kind of being a funny man. But then I think ultimately he doesn't do that much in season 9. He is just a guy that people talk to in the cell, so we'll go with that, I guess. Either that or the spin-off. Owen the Alpha Wolf. He's in 5. He's in 6. I guess we'll go with 5 because I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll go with 5. Cindy. Again, all Oceanside people automatically go into 8 because they basically did fuck all in season 8. So there was it made them absolutely pointless and redundant. Jared. He goes into season, I guess, 8 because he overstays his welcome a little bit. So that's his worst season. Henry, his worst season. I really like him in 9. I guess 8, he's a bit annoying, so I'll probably go at 8. Where in 7, he's barely really a character. So I'll probably say season 8 because he is just a bit of an annoying little shit, and it's probably within character, but it's still a bit insufferable. Laura, I think her best season is probably 7. Yeah. Probably maybe her worst season's 10 because she gets done dirty. She gets killed by Beta, and it's like, oh, that's it then, I guess. Cool. What's her name? Beatrice's worst season. Oh yeah, season 8. She's an Oceanside person. They automatically get there. She didn't do anything. Addie, she's only in season 9, so she goes there. Sherry is same with Dwight. Spin-off. They take, this is where they take a character in Fear the Walking Dead. They bring a character to Fear the Walking Dead and they turn them into a blank fucking slate, and that's what Sherry became. And also she was a bit annoying in Fear, to be honest. She kept pinpointing my man Dwight around, and Dwight was just, I don't care. I just want my Sherry. And then Sherry's like, Dwight, we gotta leave. And then they have a kid and all sorts, man. I don't even know. Are they together at the end? I fuck knows. I can't tell. They are like the weirdest couple ever. Lydia. Lydia is worst season 11 easily because they didn't have a fucking clue what to do with Lydia. They were like, okay, we're gonna pair her with, who should we pair? Maggie. We'll pair her with Maggie. Okay, cool. What connection does she have to Maggie? No connection at all, actually. No, not a single fucking connection. She's never even met Maggie before. But we'll pair her with Maggie. Okay, cool. Who else are we gonna pair with? Marco. We'll pair her with Marco as well. So Marco will be there. I was like, oh. Does she know Marco? Barely, but she does a little bit. Okay, cool. Who else can we pair her with? Well, she's with Maggie, isn't she? Okay, cool. Well, Aaron's around. Yeah, fair. She knows Aaron. Who else can we pair her with? Ooh. Elijah. Oh, and also there's going to be a relationship there. It's like, oh. Why? It's a bit weird, isn't it? A bit forced, isn't it? Like, they've never even, like, are we going to do, like, some bonding moments first? No. The first mention we're going to have of this is Marco telling Elijah, oh, dude, shoot your shot. He's like, we've never seen these people, like, even talk before. And he's like, oh, this is what I mean. It's like, I'm fine with, like, Lydia and Elijah being a couple. But set it up first. But they don't. They just, like, they introduce it, like, oh, Elijah fancies Lydia, right? And then he asks her, and then she says, I think she asks Carol for permission or some shit. And it's like, but are you just getting with him because there's no one else? Like, there's no one else your age now? Or, I don't know. It just felt like a bit forced. And it's like, oh, we need Lydia to do something. Oh, and then to top it off, they fucking have her lose an arm for the sake of it. Yeah, so season 11 because they didn't have a fucking clue what to do with her. Gage. He is in 9, 10, and 11, right? Is he in 9? Yeah, he's in 9. Of course he's in 9. He's in 9, 10, and 11. I think his worst is probably 9, I guess. I mean, he's just bully character, really. That's not really it. Eric. His worst is easily season 6 because he basically has like no speaking lines. Like he has a little bit in season 5, and he has some in season 7, and he has a little bit in season 8. Obviously, when he dies, I think this is someone pointed out. One of the wiki moderators pointed this out, saying that they basically it is like a bury your graves or whatever. Whereas like Eric basically has no lines in season 6. It is 6, right? Or is it 7? I think it's 6. But if it's 7, he should go to 7. Oopsie. DJ. DJ is cool as fuck in 9. Okay, I like him in 9. You know, we see him as an asshole, and then he's a good guy, and then he's an asshole, and then he's a great guy, you know, and he sacrifices himself at the end. I guess season 8, because he kind of just is savior guy with no cool moments. Aaron. So Aaron's worst season is... I think he's pretty good in season 11. I like him enough in season 10 where he's like, I'm sick of being the nice guy. You know, I wish they took that a bit further though. Season 9, he loses an arm. And what else does he do? He does kind of like have a bit more of a relaxed role. Oh, wait, no. Aaron's worst season? Maybe season 8. I think it's season 8. Yeah, so yes, we have the death of Eric, and it's sad, and he takes Gracie. But then for the rest of the season, he's pissing about in the Oceanside, doing a hunger strike, like sitting in the rain. Yeah, not very interesting. It's like, okay, how are we going to deal with the death of Aaron's beloved? He's going to go to a place where... He's going to go to the worst place for a gay man, a community full of women. and he's going to do a hunger strike outside to convince them to come fight. Oh, and it's like, oh, okay. So is this going to pay off in some big way? Are the Oceanside going to save like the Alexandrians at the last minute? No. The Oceanside are going to throw a few firebombs at a few saviors who are arriving at the hilltop, and ultimately they're going to steal the thunder from Alden and the defecting saviors. Oh. So that was kind of pointless then. Yes, it was. Aaron's efforts were pointless. So what they should have done instead is Eugene's bullet thing shouldn't have been so flawless, right? It shouldn't have worked out as well as it did. And at the very last moment, the Oceanside women come save the day. That's what they should have done, but whatever, I guess. So yeah, his worst season is 8 because they basically do nothing interesting with like the loss of his boyfriend, and it's kind of like, oh, he's dead. Cool, right? I'm gonna go do my hunger strike now. Judith, I'm not gonna count her for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because like she's a baby. So we'll only count her for 9, 10, and 11. And I guess we won't count it for the spin-off because it's like a cameo. So, I don't know. 11 maybe? 10, 9. I think she's fine in 9. I think she's pretty good in 10. I like the fact that she like kills the man, the Whisperer man. I thought it was a kid. I swear it looks like a kid. It looks like a kid to me. The Whisperer kid / man. Apparently it's a man there. I was told it's not a kid, it's a man. Okay, whatever. A young man then. She kills the young man, the young Whisperer man. I think I like all that stuff and like dealing with the death and Michonne leaving and all that. Season 11, I guess. But then I like her in season 11 too. There's probably the one I like her the least in. If we're just doing 9, 10, and 11. So, yeah. Natanya, like I said, she literally shows up to get shot by Enid in season 8, but she ultimately goes into season 8 because that's where all the Oceanside characters go. Magna is probably the most insufferable in 9. I think she grows on me in 10, although she does some annoying stuff in 10 as well. And 11, she's just fine, but she's a bit annoying in 9 for me. Luke is probably the worst in season 11 because he shows up again just to die, so that was a bit annoying. And he doesn't feel as badass as he did in season 10. Juanita, aka Princess, so she's only in 10 and she's in season 11. I think if we have to go for anything, it's probably 10, although I do like Splinter as an episode. I think that really kind of I like Splinter, maybe not as a full, like, I don't love the episode, but, like, I think it's good for Princess's character, like, understanding her. So, I think it's tricky, but I think, there again, she doesn't do that much in season 11. Well, I think I'm going to go with 10, though. It's like a toss-up. I wish they did a bit more with Princess once we got to the Commonwealth, but whatevs. Daniel, he's only in 7 and he's only in 8. We'll go with season 7 because in season 8 he sacrifices himself for Ezekiel and that's pretty badass. So We'll say his worst season is 7. Oh no, he's in 6 as well because he's in the last 2 episodes. So, but we'll still go with 7. We got Connie. I'd probably say season 11 because it felt like Connie in season 9 is great. She's really fun. Like that, she goes with Daryl on the mission. The mission to rescue Henry and Lydia. So that's all really cool. And I think in season 10 as well, she's like, I think she takes a bit of a backseat. But then of course you have the whole cave thing and her going missing. And then season 11, it's like the On the Inside episode. I really fucking love, and I think that's probably Connie's best episode. But it's everything that follows from it. So it's like she goes to the Commonwealth. She's a journalist. Okay. What next? She's exposing the secret of the Pamela's lies. Okay, cool. What does she do? She does some investigative journalism. Are we having like a thriller thing? Is she like recording people secretly? No, that's all Eugene really. We don't really give any of that. She gets like a note through the door that gives her like some names that were missing, and then she talks to Eugene and Princess, and it's like, I don't know, it just felt a bit like, it felt like, again, like it's like the courtroom stuff. It felt like this is what the writers think a journalist does, and it's like the weird backstory they give her as well. Like, her journalism took down Pamela Milton's uncle, and it's like, wait, what? Why are we giving this stupid, ridiculous backstory to Connie? Just say, like, I don't know, she's a fucking war journalist or something. Like, why do we have to say that she took down a fucking major politician? That's just like, it's bigging her up for no reason when she doesn't even do anything that big. And then she gets kidnapped and put in the fucking designation 2, whatever the hell that means. Never explain it. And then ultimately, her and Daryl don't get together, even though they dick teased us with it for like 2 seasons prior. So yeah, I think Connie's worst season is 11. I just think like they don't fulfill any of her character, and the same goes for Kelly actually, because like they just don't. They hold like her going deaf. It's like she goes to the Commonwealth and that's it. She's got hearing aids, so cool. We're done now with that, I guess. So yeah, both Connie and Kelly are. I love the On the Inside episode, but everything else is dreadful for them. Like, they don't do anything with their characters. And, yeah. So I'm going to have to go with 11 for them. But I do like the On the Inside episode for those 2 characters. That's a good episode. Maybe it would have been good if one of them died. Dale. I guess Season 2 is probably his worst. Season 1 is fine. No, Season 2 is a great episode then. I think I'm going to have to go Season 1. Yes, it's annoying that Dale dies quite early, but honestly, I don't think the Dale death is that big of a deal. I think ultimately the show survived it, and it didn't really hurt the show at all. So I'd probably say his worst season 1, because he is just dude on camper. Anne/Jadis. I think her worst season is 8 by far. 7, she is like a bit kooky and she portrays the group. But then 8's like, I don't know what they want to do with her. They just like, they have her show up. She has her people massacre, and it's like, okay, great. Are we done with this character? No, she kidnaps Negan. Okay, to hand Negan, but then she changes her mind, and then she joins Rick, and I just don't care. 9, she's fine. I think 7, she's slightly bearable because she's new. But 8, she's like really annoying, and it's like, why the fuck is Rick going back to these people? Stop it, no. And I think she's okay in the spin-offs. Joe the Claimer. Now he is in 4. He is in season 4, but he's technically in a web episode as well, so we can count that as a spin-off. But no, I'll put him in 4, I guess. He's his worst in 4. Frankie is probably, she's in season 7. She's in season 8. And she's in season 9. Probably say her worst is 9 because she shows back up again only to die. Although she is in the Scars flashback episode as well. So I don't know, maybe. Yeah, we'll go with that. Francine. Francine is, I don't know, her worst in season 7, I guess. She doesn't really do much in season 7. Regina. Regina is only in 8 and 9, right? I'll probably say her worst is 9 because she shows back up again after being shot, like in the finale season 8, only to be like second in command to Jed, I guess. Like, she's not the person leading the group, even though she's like a lieutenant, but whatever. So yeah, it was just they kind of kept her alive, even though it looked like she died in the finale season 8. They kept her alive for like basically no reason. Gamma is only in 10, so we'll go with 10. Karen is only in she's in season 3 and season 4. I'll probably say her worst is, I don't know. Again, it's like either or really. It doesn't really matter. I guess her worst is Free. Yeah, I think she's more like her death is what brings like interesting story. But she's kind of a cool character, like the fact she survives the governor's massacre and like leads the group. I kind of like that too, but it's ultimately just because she's probably on equal pars in both seasons. So I'll go with Free though. Gorman is only in season 5. We're almost there, guys. Don't worry. Gargiulio is only in season 3. Ugh, final stretch. Pope is only in season 11. Pamela Milton's only in season 11. Yeah. Mercer's only in season 11. I'm right in that, right? I think so. They don't show up in the... No, they don't show up in the COVID episodes. Sebastian is only in season 11. I'm right? Yeah. Because the Splinter episode is... Yeah. Tommy only appears in season 11. Tyler Davis appears in season 10 and 11. I guess his worst is probably season 10. Because he's just soldier getting beaten up by Princess. Lance only appears in season 11. Yeah. Leah appears in season 10 and 11. I think she's very uninteresting in the COVID episode, though, so I'll probably say season 10 for her. Elijah appears in both. Season 10, the finale, and of course he takes his mask off in the COVID episode, and then of course he goes into season 11 as well. I think he like loses all of his badassery in season 11. That's okay because we're like opening him up a bit and we're showing like who he is behind the mask and who he actually, what kind of character he is. But I feel like they just didn't do anything interesting. Like it was like a cool concept, like a cool like a sort of ninja-y, like the two like double, what they call like scythe things. I forget what there's a proper name for them, but the two, like a fucking absolute ninja kind of character, right? And he wears the mask, and it's like, oh cool, what we're gonna do? And it's like they instantly take the mask off. They kind of ruin the mystique of the character. And then like it would have been cool if like he kept the mask on for a while, right? And like maybe he only revealed it to like, because I thought they were doing something between him and Kelly, like they were gonna have like a relationship, but then they kind of didn't. I was like, okay. But it would have been cool if like he took it off for like Lydia or whoever they actually had. Like, wouldn't that have been cool? Like some guys like almost like vowed not to take the mask off, so it's almost like a mirror to like what Beta was, and it's because of like, I don't know, like his burnt face or something, or yeah, it could be something like that. I don't know. I think maybe that's a bit cheesy, but it is kind of like they ruined the mystique of the character by taking the mask off, and then they kind of, I feel like his sort of ninja skills never kind of, they came into a little bit of effect in 11, I guess, but not as much as I wanted to, I guess. So I'm going to go with season 11. Annie, well, she didn't even appear in the spin-off, so you can't even say that. So she has to go into season 11. Maxine or Max Mercer obviously automatically has to go into 11. Carver has to go into 11 because he's only in 11. And then we've got two people, last two. So Beta, I think, is great in season 9, and I think he's great in season 10. So it's really tricky. It's honestly impossible to choose, but I'm going to go with 10 just because I feel like, again, he doesn't outstay his welcome as much as Alpha, but like a little tiny bit. Like I do feel that Whisperer story arc was a bit pushed, and I think he was much cooler in season 9 with like the build up to his character and the fight with him and Daryl and all that. I think that was great, and then the stuff near the end. Although he has some great moments in 10 as well. So honestly, I think either of these answers are acceptable, but I'm just going to go with 10. And then Eugene's, worst season, right? Yeah, worst season 10. Eugene's worst season is easily season 8. Because it's like Eugene in season 4 is, we're setting him up, so whatever. He's got the guy who's got a cure, and then he has his arc in season 5. He admits he was lying, he gets punched, and then he's like, trying his best to kind of adapt a little bit to the group and be somewhat useful to the group in season 5. Finding like there's a radio or whatever when he gets to Alexandria, like there's like this thing that we can get, this like material that we can get to for the solar panels, whatever it was. And then, of course, he steps up a little bit in season 5 when he saves Tara and shoots the zombies, and then also like steps up to Nicholas. But then in season 6 is when he really steps up. Like, no one gets to clock out today. This is a story people are going to tell. And he goes out and kills the zombies, and it's like really cool, really badass moment. And it's like cool. And then also like his final moment of season 6 is, or one of his final moments is the romance hug with Abraham, and he gets in the camper to sail off to the sunset, to distract the saviors, and ultimately sacrificing his own life in the process. And it's like, this is a fucking cool way to end Eugene's character here, but cool, we're going to carry on. And then season 7, obviously he witnesses the most bravest man he knows get his head beaten in by another guy, and you can understand why Eugene would regress a little bit here. And I think that's acceptable for him to kind of become a little bit more cowardly after that happens, right? He can still be brave against the walkers, so if there's a walker, he'll deal with it quickly. And I think we should have probably showed that. Show like he's pretty scared of the saviors and all of them, but for Walker, he'll deal with it quite easily. But then he gets kidnapped. I'm like, okay, this is cool. We can do like a plot, like a spy plot, but he just becomes a savior, like full on becomes a savior in season 7. He kisses the ring and everything, right? Where he's like, I'm stone cold, hardcore Negan, right? And people like to say, oh, he was playing a game. No, he wasn't. This wasn't like a ploy. This wasn't a play. He was a savior, full on. And then this is where I'm like, okay, Sasha, so like, you can still come back, Eugene. This should have been the moment that Eugene probably should have been like, okay, I'm going to work against the saviors now. After Sasha kind of gave him the inspiration. And then, of course, but then what happens is Rick and co like try and blow him up, and I think that changes his mind, so he becomes a savior again. So in season 8, for the whole of season 8, he's a fucking savior. It isn't until Rosita and Daryl kidnap him and he pukes on Rosita, but before that, Rosita basically gives him a roasting. It's like, you're a pathetic weak coward, we're going to lock you in a little cave, blah blah blah. You betrayed everyone, but you betrayed the only friends you had. So it's only after that, and of course Gabriel's ineptitude and like just making crappy bullets that were going to explode. That's when Eugene gets the bullet idea. So it wasn't even his idea. He was like bullied into it, and then like he got the idea. It's not even like his genius came up with the bullet idea. He copied Gabriel's fucking ineptitude. So people like to make it out like Eugene was doing some big play the whole time. No, he wasn't. He was just a full-on fucking savior. This is why he helped the saviors escape the sanctuary. Yes, partially because Negan was like, okay, you're going to be the first person to die, but also because he generally did like believe in the saviors, right? And he literally says to Dwight, they reap what they sow. This is what they did, blah blah blah. And he was pretty pissed off the fact that they tried to blow him up. So yeah, Eugene was a complete fucking traitor in season 8, and I think it was far too much. I don't think it should have been like all the way to the finale where he blows up the bullets. Like that was when he finally like changes sides. I think that was a little too late. I think he should have changed sides like early on, like the mid-season finale. I think. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was too much. Like, I think it's like sort of. I'm okay with him playing possum, but that's not what he was doing. At the very least, that's not what the show was presenting. He even says to Rosita in the finale, Rosita was like, "Oh, you did that to the bullets," and he said, "Yes, it was inspired by the roasting you gave me and Gabriel's ineptitude." That's what he literally says. So, like, by Eugene's own words, he only did that because Rosita roasted him and Gabriel was shit with the bullet making. So, yeah, Eugene was just a fucking absolute traitor for all of season 8 and all of the last half of season 7. Full on traitor. It was only not until the finale where he was no longer a traitor. And it's stupid anyway. It's out of character. Like, it's the most unsmart plan. Everyone likes to pretend like it was such a cool, smart plan. It's the most unsmart plan ever. Why would you rig every single gun, right? Every single bullet, pretty much, that this entire fucking army has, even though when they're traveling, and he decides to travel with the convoy as well, another stupid thing that Eugene does, and it's not the fact, it's the fact that coincidentally, the Saviors at no point test any of the bullets, shoot any zombies that get in their way, or, anything like that, or even just like, I don't know, like, just decide to shoot it for the fucking shits and giggles. Not at one point, one savior does it on the journey to this like field where they decide to ambush Rick. There's no zombies. They don't try to test the bullets. They don't fire for the shits and gigs. Not one point. And people say, well, Negan tested one gun in the thing. Oh, yeah, because you use the same bullets for a revolver as you would a fucking AK. The bullets would be different, right? For like these different guns, because some are in shells, some are in like I don't fucking know, but I imagine, I don't know any shit about guns, I'm just guessing, so if you can tell me if there's like a universal bullet for every gun, but my guess is there isn't going to be a universal bullet for every single gun, or that would be like, or at the very least, right, if there were a universal bullet, you'd be like, okay, let's make sure it works in the AK, let's make sure it works in the M4, right? And not one of those characters does that. So that's what really, like, to me, makes Eugene's plan like really dumb, actually, when you think about it. Yeah, because it only took one person testing the gun to be like, hang on, it's just blown up in my face and killed me. And then the other person charged his, and then like Negan's like, oh, Eugene, you're doing a shit job with these bullets. And Eugene could be like, and he's stammering, and Negan's like, wait, was this on purpose? And Negan's like, no, it wasn't. It was an accident. It was Gabriel. It was Gabriel. It's Gabriel's fault. Gabriel did it. Like, and that's what, honestly, probably what Eugene would have done, throwing Gabriel under the bus. Yeah, dumb plan. Didn't even make sense. It was literally fucking plot convenience that it worked anyway. And I don't believe someone that smart, like Eugene, who was meant to be really smart, would do such a stupid, dumb plan. And also ride with the convoy whilst he was there. At the very least, like, stay back at the sanctuary. And if it succeeds, it succeeds. If it doesn't, you can fucking haul ass and get your hell out of there. Survive on your own for a bit. But yeah, Eugene's the most out character and the most annoying in Season 8. And it just felt like they regressed the Season 6 arc for me. And that's why I kind of hate Eugene in Season 8. And in Season 9, 10, 11, he's fine. Yeah. So that is it for the worst season for every character. I hope you've enjoyed. Now let me know your opinions, where you think you disagree. Now this has been a long video, so make sure to subscribe, because I put in a lot of effort. I mean, like, maybe not a lot of effort. Like, there's no like editing with these, right? But obviously it's all off the cuff, it's all off my head. But it does take it's a little bit draining, because I'm sat here for like 2 hours just talking into a mic with no break. So there isn't like any editing, but obviously I couldn't do this if I didn't watch the show as many times as I did. I think I've got a pretty extensive knowledge of the show. I think I've probably got more knowledge than most fans do, and that's not like to brag or anything. That's just because I'm sad and I've watched the show many times and read all the fucking trivia and all that shit, and I've been on the wiki a lot. But yeah, it's not like a brag or anything, but I feel like that's what kind of helps me. So in a sense, that's like my editing. It's like all my knowledge is like I have instead of my editing. But you guys seem to like these tier lists, so I'm happy to continue doing them. I do feel like they're a bit lazy, but I have I just want to say I have a lot of really positive comments about them. Like, there was one person telling me how he or they or she drives, and they put on my videos in the background when they're driving on these like long drives, I think for work or whatever. And that's just really awesome. Like, the fact that someone's like listening to me ramble about this show that I absolutely adore, whilst they're doing their drive for their job or whatever, is actually really nice to hear. So, and like, people literally, I think someone said like they use me as like background noise, like a podcast almost. So it's like they're doing something and then they're listening to my video in the background. And honestly, if that's what I am, and that's why people were saying like, oh, it'd be cool if you say what tier you put them in, because when it's visual, we're just listening. So yeah, if I'm just like background noise, I am just like the thing that you listen to whilst you're doing chores, I'm happy with that, and that's really cool. So let me know how you listen to the videos as well. I'd like to hear that. Obviously, leave any suggestions as well. Like this one was obviously suggested, but if I would be generally interested to hear how you listen to these videos. So let me go down to the comment section right now and tell me, like, do you sit down and watch them? Is it like you listen to them in the background? Do you listen to it whilst driving? Like, I want to know, and I won't be offended. Like, if you listen to me in the background as background noise, I probably would do the same with a video of this, because it's visually not that interesting, right? You're more listening to it. So I'd understand that. So I won't be offended, don't worry. Yeah, so let me know that. I'd love to hear it. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I might sleep now. Goodbye.